Welcome to All Gen Gamers, a podcast for people in video games of all generations. Starring Pete Dorr, Happy Console Gamer, Gamester81, and Jason Heine.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 49 of the All Gen Gamers. I'm one of your co-hosts, Johnny Millennium, and we're joined by Gamester81. John, how are you doing?
Doing good, Johnny. Good to have you back, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I have lots of tales from Vegas we'll talk about. But let's talk about EMU review. Jason, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Good to have you back, Johnny.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete Dorr is not here. He's doing a lap dance for Peter Jackson right now. So he's at the last Lord of the Goddamn Rings movie. Jesus Christ.
Can I just say one thing before we go any further? You see this, guys? You see this bullshit? I have to invest days to watch these movies. Look what Pete's doing. You guys wonder why I'm freaked out about these movies. Look what he's doing now.
No, but here's the deal, Jason. They're good movies and they're fun to watch. And
I'm going to watch them with an open mind, just so everyone knows. I haven't yet.
We're going to get into this in a bit later,
Yeah.
The movies are on Blu-ray. I don't know why you need to sit and watch it in the theater again. Did Pete not watch these in the theater when he was at like 4 years old?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, he's playing Genesis a lot.
Yeah, he's probably playing a lot of Genesis.
Well, they came out, like 9 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, what's that? I'm playing Sonic with all these rings. I get it. Anyways, we are joined by the incredible, the unbelievable Holly. How are you doing, Holly?
Hadouken.
Hadouken.
Oh, nice. Hadouken.
There you go. It's an official live one.
Yeah.
I love it. And for anybody who doesn't know Holly, she actually does the show Dog in My Lens on YouTube.
Holly, why don't you explain to the listeners about your podcast you're on, Operation Killscreen?
All right. Operation Killscreen is myself, Tim, aka Jumble Junkie, and Sinister Moon. It's a podcast of the three of us, and it's really relaxed, and we like to have fun, and we talk about really goofy stuff. So we do it kind of three segments: what we're eating, drinking, sleeping, doing, all that kind of stuff. You get to hear lots of interesting stories from our lives, and then we talk about the news, anything new in video games. We usually have a guest, or we try to have a guest, and then we just kind of hang out and have fun. We just recorded our live one on Monday, and then when does this get posted, this podcast?
We post on Wednesdays, and this is episode 49, so it'll be the 6th.
Okay.
July 6th.
So as you guys are listening to this, we recently had Jason Heine on.
And it was a fantastic time. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
It's so weird saying that because it's already have happened.
Yes. And you guys will have to let me know when you post it, and I'll make a video as well that I was on here.
Cool.
Definitely.
Operation Killscreen. And just so you know, it's uncensored. So if you guys are sensitive, don't check out our podcast.
Well, if they're listening to this one,
they'll do okay.
We actually have a weekly poop limit on our podcast, how much talk can actually be about poop.
I was listening to your live episode, and you're like, we have reached the poop quota.
Yeah, I am the poop referee. And for those of you that don't know, I've been put on a gaming diet this year. If I go over purchasing 15 games for myself, I have to talk about my poop on the podcast at length.
Hey, I'll do it for free right now.
No, it's okay.
Let me tell you a story about...
I'm at my weekly limit. Sorry, Johnny.
Oh, well, I'm over my weekly limit every week. I've already got enough episodes. I got enough games for another 2-part game. Your GameStop episode is fucking retarded. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh my god, what an obsession this shit is. Man, Holly, I think I started watching your show probably around, is it like 3 years ago now? Yeah.
It's been I've been doing YouTube for 2.5 years, so.
No, well, actually, is it because I remember that me and my ex-girlfriend broke up, and that was like 2.5, maybe it was 2.5 years ago, you're right. And because I remember I did my shout-outs to, girl gamers in the YouTube community, and I remember I did your show at that point. So, I guess 2.5 years ago. My apologies. Seems like time just flies by.
So you did your girl gamer shout out after you broke up with your girlfriend?
Yeah, well, actually, I wanted to do shout outs for the gaming community. And so I did 2 for, like, all the cock and balls. So I did, like, I don't know, like 25 guys. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, well, wouldn't it be kind of cool if I actually did something like that? Because I'd like to say, would you like to say this, Holly, that there wasn't a lot of girl reviewers at that time?
No, there really wasn't. I mean, one of the reasons I joined YouTube, it was in March of 2009, was because of Steph's 2 Deaths videos. And I thought it was really cool that there was other women out there that like to play video games.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool having, like seeing your channel. And you're right, Steph to Death was like the first channel, first girl gamer that I ever saw. And I'm like, man, this girl is like, not only is she a gamer, but she's a cool person, like really awesome.
Pretty knowledgeable. Yeah.
Yeah, really knowledgeable. Not like, let's be honest here, and Holly can definitely say as well. There is girl, gamers out there, but they're just like airheads, and they're like, I like video games like Mario. And then you're like, cataclysm.
Cataclysm. and Holly, you had. Let's talk about this real quick. You're on Operation Killscreen, and I know we've had Tim Jumble Junkie on a couple times, but you had her as a guest. That had one of your episodes.
They saw that video and we talked about it on one of our really early episodes, and they're like, "You're a girl. Go ask her to come on the podcast." And so we had her on because, I say stupid stuff all the time, like Hadouken, and I can appreciate Cataclysm a little bit. It's still, I have a hard time calling that game World of Warcraft Cataclysm to this day.
Exactly. It's changed it all. But yeah, it's funny that back then there wasn't that many girl reviewers, so I was always impressed by knowledgeable game reviewers like yourself and Steph. I thought that was very, that was awesome, but I hate, and so many guys on YouTube hate them as well, the girls who get all the subs just because they have boobs, and they don't have, I'm telling you, they're like girl or gamer, 69, I'm just making names up. Hopefully there's no girl who actually has a show like that, call that, but who knows, it probably is, but yeah, and they have thousands of subscribers, but they just have no brain. And you're like, and it's all these lonely guys out there that are, gamers like, oh, a girl who likes video games. It's like, well, no, she doesn't really know anything about video games at all. If you really listen to her, that's not attractive at all. I don't know. But I would never be attracted, here's something. I would never be attracted to a girl who just played video games. Like, why the fuck would you look for that in a person? Oh, she plays video games. Well, okay, I'll marry her. No way. I think you look for a little bit more in a person than that. It's so funny. But some guys definitely don't. Yeah.
Hey, John, you see that iJustine has a gaming channel now on YouTube?
I'm sorry.
iJustine. You know who iJustine is? Come on, you guys know who iJustine is, right? No?
Is that the guy with the huge package?
No, it's Chick.
I don't know.
Please tell me you know who iJustine is, no?
No.
Yeah, I totally do, but you're going to have to explain it again.
Yeah. Okay. So she is one of probably the top 10 subscribed people on YouTube, and she has a blog on YouTube. And she's got over 1 million subscribers. But
oh, dude, is that the chick who does all the workout videos?
No.
Oh, okay.
Different.
What the fuck?
I've seen that one. I've seen that chick with the workout videos. And she just, her pictures, she put pictures on her
it's
videos.
All about that, yeah.
Yeah, all about her boobs and shit. But no, this she has a gaming channel, and she doesn't really know shit about games. Yeah. But she's got 500,000 subscribers because she's huge on YouTube, and she's very pleasing to the eye to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, go Holly.
Then there's the frag dolls, which personally I'm not a fan of as well, which are women that really like to play and only play first-person shooters like Call of Duty.
This is the first I've heard of this, to tell you the truth.
You don't know about frag dolls?
No.
Yeah, I haven't heard of them either, no.
Oh, even Ubisoft kind of did a spin-off of it because there was a lot of hate in the gaming community, especially if you're ever on any of the COD servers and they hear your voice and they hear you're a woman. I constantly get called a frag doll. But
so it's a derogatory term.
Yeah, it is derogatory. I mean,
what's the big deal? Holy shit, a female wants to play fucking Call of Duty. What's the big deal?
It becomes a big deal because it's, you're invading their game. Oh, you're not just some dude in San Diego or some dude in Ontario. Yeah, you're some chick.
Yeah, that frustrates me right there. That's stupid.
Half the young boys sound like girls on Call of
Duty. Seriously, so what the fuck? Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys, I was playing Gears of War with a bunch of friends from work one night. when Gears of War first came out. And there was this one kid. It was the funniest thing. And I think he actually lived in Vancouver here. And so we're all playing fucking Gears of War, and he's on our team. And we kept him on the team because this kid was hilarious. He was like 11 years old, and he kept saying things like this to us, to a bunch of adults, going, "Hey, what's the biggest gun you've ever shot?" Like,
You sound like Mickey Mouse when you said
he's like, "I shot this gun with my dad, and I shot that gun." And we're like, "Hey, great." And then one of my friends was being really creepy with this kid. He was being really funny. He's like, "Well, hey, what are you doing later tonight? Do you want to like meet up at Denny's or something?" Funny, horrible stuff. But I was just laughing. I was in the background going, "Oh, geez." But yeah, no, there's a lot of young kids that sound like girls on video games. That's all I want to chime in with there.
Yeah, some of the stuff that's said on cross chat's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
Even Fat Princess, people take that game so seriously online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never played it.
That's a shame. It's one of the best games for the PlayStation 3.
Is it? Damn it, I haven't played it. Have you played Final Fantasy the After Years, Holly?
No, I haven't.
Either have I. It's like, yeah. I wish somebody give me a good review on it.
Yeah.
Type of thing, but... No, so guys, if you don't mind, I just want to say, I came back from Vegas, and I would have loved to meet up with you guys there. I had my own personal cabana at Treasure Island. It was a good time.
Wow.
Drinking in the sun. I got a heat stroke the next day. I had a blinding headache.
Did you?
Yeah, I was pretty ill the next day. But I was in the pool drinking all day. I think that had something to do with it, too, so...
Yeah, man. I wish you could have joined you just kind of a hectic weekend and all. But next time, if you're ever down in Vegas, next time.
I got to ask you guys, and me and Holly are up here in Canada where it's always cold and raining most times. I know it's sunny in Toronto right now, but what is the weather like in Arizona where you and Jason live? What are we talking about? Because when I was in Vegas, it was 43 degrees. It was crazy.
Well,
Holy shit.
We do. There's degrees and there's Fahrenheit, and you guys go by different. You guys go by centimeters or
I always go by degrees. Yeah,
degrees. Yeah. So it's about 109 degrees in Arizona right now.
Damn, that's too hot.
Well, have you guys ever been here? You've been to Arizona?
No.
It's dry.
Yeah, it's really dry.
How do you guys adapt to the heat down there?
Here's the deal. It's gradual. Like, okay, we get 9 months a year of like 75 degree weather. And it's not like one day 75, the next day is 109. It's just gradually increases. So one day 75, the next day 76. So it kind of gradually increases. But it's a dry heat. It's not humid.
Yeah, there's no humidity. So like 109, 110, it's hot, but it's not like what you think. You know, it's still hot as shit. Don't get me wrong. It sucks. Don't get me wrong, but it's not totally unbearable. You know what I mean?
I've seen like homeless people like boiling eggs on the sidewalk for real.
Oh yeah, easy.
And frying pan, yeah, it's crazy. That's how hot the cement is. Yeah,
I was fascinated being in Vegas. How cheap everything is down there, and not food and all that crap, but the price of living. A house in Las Vegas costs $100,000 only.
That's how Phoenix is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, Holly, it's nuts.
Yeah. The market's gone to shit down here. You can pick up a house real cheap right now.
Yeah.
You're looking at dropping probably where I live $500,000 for a 3-bedroom house.
Well, that's how Seattle is and stuff. I mean, you get like San Francisco and parts of the country like New York. New York is like if you want a studio, like a 500 square foot studio, you're probably looking at $1 million in downtown New York. It's crazy, but it just kind of depends on where you live. But Phoenix and Vegas they're going to bounce back as far as prices. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
But, did you go to Insert Coins, Johnny?
No, I didn't bother. To be honest, I didn't do anything video game related there at all. Did you go to the Pinball Museum? No, didn't do that either.
Oh, man.
You know what? Like, this may sound funny, but I dropped a lot of big money on a lot of different things. I did a lot of big shows when I was there. And we had a lot of we really went out in the sense that, we'd have like breakfast meals that were like $70. To breakfast was $70. Yeah. And I don't have a lot of money, to be honest with you, but I just decided to enjoy ourselves when we were there because I don't ever have a vacation. And I think I was a little bit stressed out before I left. So I was like, oh, fuck, let's just unwind and do whatever we want to do. But I didn't do anything. The closest video game related thing I did was I saw Hydro Thunder by the pool, in the arcade by the pool in Treasure Island. I looked at it and went, man, screens are faded. Looks really crappy. Okay, I'm going to the pool.
I was going to ask if you rode the roller coaster at New York, New York.
We actually went there. The lineup was too long, and we wanted to go and have dinner. And it was like, are you hungry, or do you want to wait in this for an hour for this fucking roller coaster? We're like, let's just go. You know, so where we didn't do the roller coaster, we made up for it by going to the gun range and shooting some of the most powerful handguns and weapons in the entire world. So that was one thing that was fantastic. I got to shoot a Desert Eagle, and I gotta tell, have you guys shot any guns before?
No. Well,
just small ones, like 22s and stuff, but nothing like that.
I'm telling you, I need to tell the audience this just because I think they'll find it fascinating. I've always wanted to shoot a gun. You know, Jason is the master first-person shooter guy on the podcast, and I think anybody who plays those games has a bit of fascination with guns, or, you know, the idea of guns at least. And so I know I always have. So me and Kim show up. We pull up in a taxi to the gun store in Las Vegas. And we get out, and there's two girls under an umbrella, and they're like, "Hi, how are you?" And we're like, "Good." And they have all this like big picture of all these weapons. They're like, "You know, what do you want to shoot? You want to shoot this? You want to do this?" We're like, I said, "I want to shoot a Desert Eagle. I want to shoot the big, saw, automatic assault gun, rifle type of thing. And I want to shoot like an M16 type of gig." And so like, okay. And then Kim wanted to shoot an Uzi and a riot shotgun and all this other stuff. So they write our guns down. We walk inside. Holly, you would find this fascinating. It's just so unlike Canada. We walk inside. You sign this piece of paper just with your name. You just sign it real quickly. They're like, okay, you want these guns? They give you a box of ammo. You pay your money, which was $160 for 3 guns for me and $149 for 4 guns for Kim. We walk up. We're standing there. All of a sudden, this guy walks out. He's like, "Okay, here's a pair of goggles. Here's some earphone things for the sound. Let's go." And we're like, "What do you go?" I'm just thinking, that's it. Like, there's no like, okay, guys. Like in Canada, there'd be a 5-hour sit down lesson. a police officer would come in and tell you the dangers of firearms and don't do this with a gun. And they didn't do anything. We walk in and I just hear the most blinding automatic weapon sounds I've ever, like, it's a war. Like you were hearing like actual real guns. Like, like you see these, movies, you see all this, but you're hearing live real automatic weapons firing right next to your head. And you're like, holy shit, this is real stuff. And
yeah, that wouldn't happen here.
No, I know. And, and I walk in. And I gotta say, guys, I was totally nervous, super nervous. And so the guy, he says, and I can't even hear him. Get this, he's got this gun, and he's talking to me. I can't even hear what he's talking about. What?
Yeah, because it's so loud and every shot's going off. Yeah.
Sure. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, and he's going, and I'm like, and then I kind of realize he's like, who wants to shoot first? I'm like, she does. I was way too nervous to shoot first. I just couldn't do that. So she got out. You go for it, Holly.
I have a really good story when you're done about buying bullets in Ohio.
Oh, cool. Please chime in for sure. Because when I get to the bullet part at the end, that'll be awesome. So I make her shoot first. I'm such a bastard. And so she shot her like Colt 45, and she looked back at me and she's like, I can tell she's pretty nervous. I'm like, and he's like, okay, come up here. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, put your hand here. He puts the Desert Eagle in my hand. He's like, put your hand here. Put your other hand around. I'm like, okay. And he's like, stand this way. Okay, shoot. I'm like, and this big fucking thing of sweat just went down my head. I'm holding this heavy gun, and I'm like, holy shit, what's the recoil going to be like? Because I saw these videos of a girl like shooting a Desert Eagle and bashing herself in the face with it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I shot the fucking thing, and I'm just standing there. I'm like, oh, like this. The adrenaline kicked in. Like, whoa, that's a real gun. Like, not being funny. I always knew these were real guns, but it really sinks in with you. I'm like, so I shot the next one. And I shot the next one. I got to like the 5th round. The gun jams up. I'm like, put it down. I'm like, oh my God. And I went over to her. I'm like, I grab her arm. I'm like, and I was like, my adrenaline was pumping so much. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I don't know if I like this. It's like a very different sensation. I kind of always imagined about like, do, yeah, guns are fun. But It's a little bit more real, a little bit more down to earth with it. And so we finished shooting that stuff. And well, I'll say this is we went into shooting the automatic weapons after that. Were fucking fantastic. But the handguns freaked us out. The handguns were really scary stuff. But the automatic weapons, oh my God, they were awesome. Like the bullets were flying out of this like saw, machine gun I'm shooting, and it's hitting off the wall, shooting me in the face. And the great thing is I got the goggles on, so I got these bullets blasting off my goggles as I'm going, and you get a laser sighting in there. Oh, it was cool. It was cool. So that was my exciting thing, and all of a sudden it was over, and it was just like, but it was worth it. But we needed a couple drinks after that. I'll tell you that.
Funny.
But yeah, definitely Holly, tell us your story for sure.
Well, in Canada, I don't know if you guys know, but guns are so illegal, it's ridiculous. Like, they're very, very illegal. You can't possess them. You can't fire them. There's no gun ranges, nothing like that.
Yeah.
That's so opposite of where we live in Arizona.
Yeah, where you can openly carry them here. It's crazy.
We have here's the deal in Arizona. Like, we know how most states have like a state flag, a state bird, state song, whatever. We have a state gun.
Yeah, shit, eh?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you can, like, I was at McDonald's and a guy comes in, 18-year-old kid with a freaking, gun on his side, holster.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even need to be exposed. It can be hidden, concealed, and it's crazy. So anyway, Holly, I'm sorry, continue your story about your going to Ohio.
Oh yeah. In 2001, I went to Ohio University. It's inside a small town called Athens. I was actually living in another town called Marietta, and they have a Walmart there. And this is maybe a town of like 800 people. Like, it's a small town. And I always joke that you should always take your passport when you go down to, especially like the southeastern United States, because it gets kind of scary if you're Canadian. Mm-hmm. Johnny can attest. But I went to Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning.
So I just got to say, for us being Canadians, it is kind of scary going down in the States because it's as John said, people are walking around with fucking guns on their sides. That's scary. We can't even fucking shoot a rifle up here without filling out so many pieces of paper, and then we'll probably get denied. And even then, you still wouldn't get it. Yeah. Sorry. Continue on.
Yeah. So the guns are like, I don't know anyone except for Johnny personally that has actually fired a gun. Like, I don't know any other Canadian that's actually done it. So I'm in Walmart, which, fascinating enough to me, was open at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's also not the case up here. Everything closes at yeah, it's not like that here. Oh. So I'm shopping and I'm standing in line, and there's this guy dressed up in his, leaf costume. I don't know what else you call them, but the camp, the hunting stuff.
Yeah.
And he's got all these boxes, like little cigar boxes that say Smith & Wesson on them. And I'm like, what is he buying? Cigarettes? And my friend's like, no, those are bullets. And I just about fell over because I've never seen anything like that. And the amount of bullets he was buying was insane.
Yeah.
He had like 19 boxes of bullets. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, why is he buying all these bullets at
This
3 o'clock
motherfucker's going to war.
Well, what I didn't know is deer hunting season opened the next day.
Oh.
Again, not something you think of being Canadian because you can't do that here either.
Yeah, not the same.
No,
not the same. Not down. There they can take down desert eagles and blow up, caribou, whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter down there. It's just, I don't know. Guys, whenever I go to the States, it's just so weird. It's just so weird. Like that was so anyways, I'm shooting the freaking guns. There's an 11-year-old girl walks in, so super short, fucking shooting a fucking handgun. Wearing his pink little shirt, this is like daddy's girl. Me and Kim are standing there, and I'm like, we're looking over, and I'm like, is that a little girl? She's not gonna shoot us. And I'm like, and then they keep giving her a gun in her hand. She walks up, and I'm like, and I'm walking the fuck away. I'm like, get this girl away.
That's crazy.
You know what? Yeah. That's the type of story right there that even people like us in the United States, John, you can attest to this. Even people like us would say, only in Vegas.
Only in Vegas, yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny, don't let Vegas be your if it kills me. People who go to the States for the first time, they go to Vegas and that's it. And that's like their impression of like the States.
No, I've been all over the States.
I've been all over too. There's a different culture. There's culture shock for Canadians. We're very sensitive people.
Yeah.
It's very we're almost like we're almost like pacifists up here.
Except for the writing.
Well, except we'll destroy our own city if we fucking fuck with our hockey team.
Yeah, as long as it's not involving hockey. But
As long as it doesn't involve hockey, you're fucking gold.
But here's the thing, John, is we're such we're so pathetic, I'll say, is that we don't go and destroy Boston. We destroy our own city. You know what I mean?
yeah, and the
we're not going to
police.
do that to you. What's that?
The only reason it happened is because the police had never seen anything like that before. They didn't know what to do either.
Well, they saw it in what 80? Didn't they see it in the 80s or 90s?
94.
Yeah. So they should have been somewhat prepared for it. But
the one thing that so there's a video game relation going on here about me shooting guns is that I kind of had like this weird moment afterwards, and I'm like, wow, all those fucking first-person shooters that I played over my life, and I love them, but I thought, how completely unrealistic they all are. I mean, I'm like shooting a Desert Eagle in a video game, you're like, bam, 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 you know? But in real life, it's just, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool if they could somehow incorporate that into either an arcade game or into some personal home experience, and to really get the feeling of what it's like to shoot a gun, because I'd never had done it. That's why I did it.
Johnny, what are you talking about? Duck hunt is the most unrealistic experience. Shooting those ducks flying over.
It's pretty realistic the way you go bing, bing, and the dog laughs at you. It's just exactly the same as being in the shooting range. Exactly the same.
Dude, next time I go to Vegas, though, that really sounds like fun, and I've always wanted to shoot a bunch of guns like that too. I think I'm going to do that.
Well, you tell me when you're going, I'll go.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do another rendezvous down there for sure.
For sure. That's why I wanted you guys to come up. We could have I would have tried you really. We could have gone. We could have shot some guns. I would have paid for the cabana. I would have paid for the beer.
I had shit going on in my life. I just needed to.
I'm just saying. I know.
Yeah. But what prevents someone from like going in there and taking a gun and going like ape shit and killing everyone? Like, is there any security, or what's the deal with that?
Okay, now people ask me, why were you nervous? Ugh. And it's like, because I walked into a room where people, like, just are allowed to own, be shooting any guns they want, handguns, full automatic weapons. What's stopping that person from turning around and shooting me in the fucking head? Right. And that's what made me nervous.
Yeah.
And each person has a gun master guy who, like, we had our own guy, and he stands behind you. But I thought, like, it just didn't feel like he was looking after us. But my question was this: if I had turned around with that gun, I think he would have knocked me out pretty well. He'd either knocked me out or shot me. Each one of these guys had their own guns.
Yeah.
But would he have hit that 13-year-old girl?
Sure.
Well, if she turned around with a gun, he would have knocked her down for sure. That's some serious business.
I don't think they'd fuck around with her. I think they'd take her out.
Yeah.
Really?
I think so. If she turned around and pointed the gun,
yeah,
I think he would like go for the gun and then just elbow to the face. Down she goes.
The one cool moment that I had, the only cool one, is we got out and Kim says to me, she's like, yeah, it was really cool. And I said, well, because for me, shooting the Desert Eagle was like a nerve-wracking experience. I didn't enjoy it or anything like that. And not as much as I was hoping I would enjoy it. It was more freaky than anything. That she actually told me, because I was so caught up in that moment, that as I'm shooting it, all these like teenagers and like tourists that were in the other like aisles all came like standing out. And they're like, oh my God, he's shooting the Desert Eagle. And I was like, ooh. And I was like, she told me that afterwards. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. But it's cool for me to say that I'd never shot a gun in my life, and the first gun I shot was a Desert Eagle. That's kind of why I did it.
Yeah. Did you keep the target?
Yeah, definitely. And we walk in there, they're like, and this is, see, Holly, up here in Canada, this would be fucking racist. But when you walk in there, they ask you what target you want to shoot at. And they got like fucking Taliban and, like, I'll just say Iraqi type terrorists. And up in Canada, you could not do that. And anyway, so I picked the Nazi zombies. That was cool. Shoot, but
so you
I'm not even sure they would let you shoot Nazis up here, to be honest.
Yeah, or anything like that.
We're like the Socialist Republic of the world.
Lame up here.
How is the airport security when you guys get like on a plane in Canada? Is it strict or is it pretty lax?
Yeah, Holly, you can take that one.
It's ridiculous. I know it sounds funny, but Canadians are really about rules. and Johnny really understands this. Like, you know that kid that you had in your class that was like the tattletale?
Yeah.
We're like a society of those.
That's a good point. Yeah, I like that.
Like, we're just a society of tattletales, and everybody obeys the rules, and nobody steps out of line. We're like penguins. You know, ever seen March of the Penguins? We just all march in a line. There's never a problem. So at airports, they're very strict. They actually go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and if they find something, you get a lecture. Like, it's not even like they take it. Then they tell you, you know, those nail clippers were on your list of items you should not pack. Now, everybody behind you in line is going to have to wait for me to talk to you about this. Doesn't that make you feel bad? Like, that's really what it's like.
Wow.
It's a good point. I like that. It really, we're really pathetic up here. I liked in Vegas how, and actually that's another thing. For Canadians going to the States is really funny. If you're going into the United States, oh my God, do they search you and check you out? And like, I got a British passport, so I have to go through all this bullshit when I go there. Like, I'm from freaking England. What am I like? Jeez. But if you're leaving the States, going back to Canada, no problem. See ya. Bye bye. They're so funny about you coming into the States, but leaving, no problem.
I have some border stories too. Like, the border is ridiculous. If you get stopped at immigration in the U.S., there is 7 agents, all of which have 1 or 2 guns on their hips, black leather gloves, in full apparel, and they always bring the dog. Yeah. And then you go back to Canada and immigration there's a person in a knit vest who was upstairs drinking their Tim Hortons coffee. So you had to wait 10 minutes for them to come downstairs.
Yeah.
It's so different. Okay,
Gamester on here, you guys will love this one. This is a real insight into exactly what Holly's saying about Canada. I'm at work today, and I bump into a guy who's been on leave because he's actually in the military, and he goes off to do military stuff in Canada. He's a part of the Canadian military.
Seriously?
And yeah. So he comes to our work, and he takes off every once in a while. I don't know how all that works, but I guess our work puts up with it and all that. That seems to be the case. But anyways, here's the thing. I'm telling him about all the weapons that I shot. He's like, dude, he goes, in the Canadian Army, we could never shoot anything like that in a million years.
Nope.
Really?
They carry around plastic rifles for like the first 5 months in the Canadian Army.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Look at it. Yeah, you guys know. Jason, like in the American Army, they're like, here's a grenade. Here's just go through them, man.
But they strap you up, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
They load you up with gear there. The more gear they can give you in the States, they love it. In Canada, a plastic gun for the first bit, and I think you can get to shoot a rifle. Meanwhile, I fly to Vegas, pay a little bit of money. I'm shooting a Desert Eagle automatic. It's so funny. I love it. So I was bugging him about that. He's like, God damn it. He's like, I'll never get to shoot that shit in the military here.
It makes me believe that Duke Nukem might actually be real.
Yeah.
He's in Vegas.
Apparently.
He's in Vegas.
It's interesting that the different, cultures, even though we're neighbors, it's interesting how differently we kind of handle things,
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Yeah. That's so funny. He's become like a Canadian. I didn't mean to get into that whole thing, but I just wanted to talk about my gun experience in Vegas because it was so unique and so wildly different than anything we'd ever get in Canada. And you guys, and I think there's a lot of people listening to podcasts all over the world, a lot in England as well. And they'll be saying in England, bloody hell, what the fuck? The Bobbies out here carry a little, they carry, like, what do they have? They just have, what's that?
Batons.
But yeah, sticks.
Yeah.
Batons, Hey, you've had too much to drink. I'll bring out my baton and show you a thing or two.
Yeah.
Over in the States, there's a lot of gun shooting that.
Yeah, we're crazy down here, I guess, when you look at it that way. I've never traveled outside the U.S., so, I'm not real familiar with, all the different cultures, but it's really cool hearing this, from you guys, Canadians, and then also, meeting a lot of people all over the world from just being involved here. Yeah. You learn all these different, the different ways of life, and Yeah, we're fucking crazy down here. Jeez.
John,
Yes.
I gotta ask because John is the most experienced traveler here, and he's not only been to Canada, he's been all throughout the United States, all over the place. Like, what is your take? Because you've tasted a little bit of every state.
Sure.
What do you think about all of this? Like,
There's only about 5 states I've never been to in the States.
Wow.
I've been about 45 out of the 50 of them.
wow.
So I have seen my fair share. It kind of depends where you're at. There's liberals and there's conservatives. The conservatives are all about toting the guns and protecting yourself, while the liberals are like, we don't need guns. So it just kind of depends. Like in Arizona, we're a very conservative state.
Yeah.
Does that mean that everyone that believes that? No. But I think it's all about common sense and education. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think 99.9% people with a gun know how to use it, know when to use it, and know have enough common sense to not shoot anyone for no reason with it, right?
Yeah.
But it takes that 1% or whatever, less than 1%, to go ape shit over it.
That we do see on the news all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
A lot of people, even for stupid things, road rage or something stupid, they'll pull out a gun and start shooting. It's absurd what people are doing with that. I mean, endangering other people's lives. It just doesn't make sense. There's a 1% of people out there that just unbelievable. It's scary,
Yeah. I think this is interesting for people who are out there, and I know I think most of the audience is, listens to this podcast, has played first-person shooters and has enjoyed them and enjoys all, the entertainment of shooting things in a video game. But it's so funny that what we're doing is we're mimicking real life, and it's so funny when you go and do the real life thing, how it's so fucking different. And everybody in the audience, listening is going to go, well, we all know that, but it really is. And I just kind of thought it'd be fun, but man, I didn't think I'd be as nervous as I was, and I didn't think I'd be as a bit, leaving there going, geez, with my adrenaline pumping, going, fuck me, that was hardcore shit. But not hardcore, just that I had a good time. It was really, that was real shit. Those are real guns. Those guns can kill people, It's a real eye-awakening experience for me. Really, really brought it down to earth. I have a lot more respect for guns now than I ever
They
had.
were badass-looking guns, too, from what I saw.
Yeah,
in
your
the
pictures that you put on Facebook were awesome, man.
They were crazy-ass guns. Fun, but if any of the audience wants to go shoot some guns, go to Vegas. It's called the Gun Store. $160 can get you basically, as I say, about 3 really powerful guns or 4 really nice guns as well. So pay $100 to get you past the lineup. Gotta love Vegas. Anything you pay for, you get a little bit more for.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, Johnny, did you make your promise and get a whole bunch of those like prostitute shit?
It's funny.
That they put on. What's that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
is? Yeah, I would explain to Holly. Have you ever been to Vegas?
Yes.
So
Yes.
have you been walking around when all those guys are handing out all the porn?
Yes. And they just flyer you with it.
Yeah, what did you think of that?
It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's Vegas.
It is. It's funny, but what got me? So, anyways, here's my thing: is that I said before when I was a kid I was there with my parents, and I couldn't collect all this porn, and as a kid I wanted it, But I was with my parents, and they're like, "Oh my God, don't grab that! It's Satan's porn," or whatever it would be. And so I never did. And so I made a joke that this time when I was going to go down, I was going to grab it all because I didn't give a shit because I was with my girlfriend. We'll take it. But the thing is they're all like cards they give you, and they're like. So no, but I didn't know what this porn was. That's what's so funny. So it's like a girl's picture, and it's so funny. It's like full naked, but they just have a little star over the nipples, and it's just like Courtney, call this number, and $35 discount. So I guess it's like for escorts, and I didn't really know that. So
is it really for escorts?
that's what it's for.
Prostitution is legal in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh. Guess so. It's Nevada, isn't it?
Yeah. It's funny. So all these guys and what they do is they go click, and then they hand it to you. They click it to get your attention. Then they hand you this porn shit. And walking down the strip, we were walking down to the MGM, and there must have been about 45, 50 people handing that shit out. It was crazy.
I saw it before. I didn't realize they were prostitutes, though.
Yeah, well,
I
they're
thought
escorts.
they were
They're different. They're not really different, but they call them escorts. It's a professional service, and you can only do it in Vegas. There's certain counties you can't do it in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys ever seen the show Bunny Ranch.
No.
It's filmed like it's a ranch that has a whole bunch of like these basically escorts, and people go in there and hook up with them for the night. But it's just
I gotta see that show. What's it called?
That's probably not allowed on Canadian television.
you got Homes on Homes.
Yeah.
Homes on Homes.
The network gets shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, so here's what I was gonna do. It got like to a point that I started getting so frustrated because we're just trying to walk, and these guys are standing in front of me, fucking trying to hand me this shit, and it's like pissing me off after a while. So I came up with my thing. I'm like, you know what? If I ever come back to Vegas, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print up my own cards. I know all it says is "fuck you" on it. Okay, and I'm gonna have them. And as I'm walking, I'm gonna click, and give it to them. You know, I'm gonna click in their fucking faces because I got so mad at it. And it was like, okay, you know, I got the point. You know, it's not the best porn in the world. It's just some fucking cards with some bullshit on it. Get this crap out of the fuck out of here. But
Are you
yeah,
gonna be naked with one of those black bars too?
do you know what? What's great for me? I got such a small dick. I just need to put a little black star on there.
It's like a little acorn. Wrap it in
a little acorn. Yeah. Like a Johnny Millennium. Yeah, Johnny Millennium.
Yeah.
Pikachu's little face down there. Whee!
Fuck yeah.
Microscopic.
Funny time in Vegas. It's just it's an interesting place.
Vegas is always a blast.
It's Sin City. You know, it is what it is, and it's fun to stay for a couple of days. But any more than that, I get burnt out by it, honestly.
I was burnt out. Yeah, I was burnt out. I was glad to come back. You know.
Yeah.
But no, not very much video game stuff. Like, what do you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about because we've been talking about this so long.
Okay, guys, I'm kind of pissed at Capcom. Johnny.
Yeah.
I'm pissed at Capcom too.
You know, Johnny, I know you're a big fanboy of Capcom, so I want your.
I'm not a fanboy. I like Capcom. A fanboy is like, yeah, Capcom's the best. Nobody's better than Capcom.
No, that's Rob, man.
Yeah,
that's Rob, man. He does not say that.
So, Johnny, I'm sure you're aware though, of this. Jason, you probably heard this too, and Holly, I'm sure you've heard this. But the new Resident Evil Mercenaries for the 3DS.
Yeah, I heard it.
Bullshit.
They're fucking making it one save only. So basically, what you can play it through it and have one save file. That's it. So you can't trade it in. No trade value. No replay value. That's just dick.
I mean, think about it. What if you're wanting to share that with a sibling or a wife or a husband,
right.
You know what I mean? What if they wanted to play through it too?
But it's a Capcom game, so they're going to nickel and dime you and make you buy 2 copies. And I'm sick of them nickel and diming me on everything.
Holly, why do you think, like, give me an example. How else are they nickel and diming you? I'm just asking. I really would love to know.
The character downloads from Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah. Give me that.
All right. The character downloads for Super Street Fighter 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been playing Monster Hunter Diaries on the PSP, which is a Japanese import game. But even on that game, it's the first PSP game I've seen where I have to pay for content and additional missions. It's a freaking Monster Hunter game. The missions should all be included.
Right.
I agree with you. Wow. Oh. It's funny, thanks for explaining that, because only when you say all of that do I see the really big picture of all of that. I've never really noticed that before. And yeah, like, what's the other game? Like Mega Man Legends 3 that me and Rob are looking forward to. They're releasing the demo, which is a great thing, but you have to pay for the demo, like in the future as well.
You have to pay for the demo, and then you have to replay the demo in the original game. I mean, it's like with the 3DS. Imagine if Nintendo charged for that update for the eShop.
Yeah.
You'd feel just as jilted.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny to say that about Capcom, because it's absolutely true. And wow.
And, you know, I'm talking about this game here, and of course, in our forums right now, as we're speaking, people are still posting messages. It's blowing up in there. It's the number one talked about right now. But Broland, Ben in here, he says, today he posted, he says that you can create one save file for the game, and it's permanent. So you can't erase it and start fresh. He says, in theory, you can go back and play the game again, but all of your stats, items unlocked, and other goodies will be permanently tied to your game, and the experience will be very diluted for people who are trying it out for the first time.
Yeah, it is a Mercenaries game, so you can still continue to play Mercenaries mode. The only thing that's frustrating about it is it's not going to erase your skill points. So say you buy a used copy of the game and the person's unlocked every weapon. You start the game from level 1 in Mercenaries mode, and you can choose any weapon you want. You don't have to find anything or earn any skills.
You know, I say everybody should do, and this is funny for me to say this, but boycott it.
Yeah, boycott.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah,
Boycott.
I agree.
And tell everybody to boycott it. Tell nobody to buy it. And send a major, message back to Capcom. I'm not against, downloading some extra content and paying for that. I'm not against that, but that's optional, right? You want to do that or not? But that is really cheesy. To be honest with you, I wouldn't really it wouldn't hurt me too much. I only want to play a game once, and I don't lend my games out anymore, or I'm not going to sell them, so it won't really affect me. But I can see it pissing off everybody else, type of thing. So that's funny. What about Pete's thoughts on that?
It's just what happens if your system breaks, or you're shit out of luck, and Holly said, it's stupid.
Yeah, what if there's like a game-ending glitch that you can't just delete your save data in, like in Oblivion, The Elder Scrolls?
Oh yeah, they better make.
Seriously.
Good. Yeah.
What if you get trapped in like some area in Mercenaries mode and you can't reset your game? Like, isn't that just a bad idea?
It's a terrible idea, and I think Capcom is probably getting so much backlash for this. They're like, "Oh shit! Why did we even do this? Why did we even say this?" I bet they're freaking out, about all the backlash because it looks bad in the company. One game they're not going to sell, it's not going to kill them, but people are going to start thinking, "Oh, Capcom, nickel and diming," and
Well, EA does the same thing to a point too, where you have to get the pass and to play online, shit like that. It's stupid.
Yeah, Sony's just as guilty. I mean, with Mod Nation Racers, it came with a coupon. So if you traded that game in, whoever you traded it to didn't have online mode.
Yeah.
you got to think about it too. When you put it in perspective, I was reading an article. I don't remember where I was reading it a couple of days ago about that. The differences between the used game market and piracy. Video game piracy, and they're talking about the used video game market is way worse than game piracy as it is right now. And and that makes sense. There's a lot more. There's full-fledged companies, like GameSlop, who are obviously enabling all this. But think about it. They are taking a big hit, but are they really taking a big hit? You know what I mean? It's really questionable and kind of an interesting argument, you know what I mean? Because obviously Capcom is, for some reason, really, they're just pissed, I guess, that for the used game market. Why would they do this? Mm-hmm. What's the reason why they would do that other than they're pissed off about the used game market taking their sales? And we've talked about this before. It's like, you guys already sold the game. You already sold to somebody and made your money off it.
Yeah.
It's like, you want money off of every... It's like, dude,
well, they
look
do.
at this. It's like you buy a
that,
car... And you drive it for 2 years, and then it's like the car manufacturer saying, you can't resell it. It's our money.
It's good analogy.
Well, it's
That's
like that.
Good analogy. Yeah.
It's like the argument about iTunes, though, too. You can download a song off iTunes, and you can't just sell that used on the market. If Capcom really felt as strongly as they do about people purchasing their games and trading them in, they could have released it as download content on the 3DS eShop.
Yeah.
This is just a really asinine move, in my opinion, and it really pisses me off as a gamer.
Yeah. I agree. It's a very weird move. I just love all the backlash from it. I'm like, wow. It's nice to see people say, we're not going to take this. So anybody out there, honestly, if you feel the same way we do, don't buy the game. Just don't. That's the simplest thing to ever do. Don't buy it. It'll show them for next time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you want the game, go and buy it.
Because you can't write to them and tell them how you feel. They don't give a shit. But what they do look at are game sales. They do look at that.
Yeah.
But wait a second. Buy a copy of the game. At the end of it, you cheap. Keep it sealed, and it'll be worth $100 in a couple of years because nobody bought it.
Exactly. Hey, Jason, didn't Pete mention last week that it wasn't selling very well in Japan?
I think he mentioned that. Yeah.
He said it's just doing terrible in Japan sales wise.
Yeah.
What is
the game? The
the actual game itself. Huh.
Came out in Japan before, but I don't know how. I don't know, because I was looking online and it seemed like sales were decent for it in Japan, but I don't know. Maybe in relative to other titles that are released. I don't know.
I think the big picture here is as gamers, we don't want to be, controlled in the way that they're doing it. I don't want to be told from, a game developer or a game company that, I buy the game with my own hard-earned money and they're going to tell me how exactly I'm going to play it or trade it in or whatever. If I want to run it over with my car, it's like, I just don't like that. I don't want to be told that, hey, well, yeah, thanks for paying, $40-$50 for the game, but, just remember, you can only use it for one system, and, this is it, and one save, and, everyone else can't really play it if they want to start fresh, sorry, but it's only yours. Like, I don't know. It's kind of bullshit.
Stop being mad at Capcom because you're a gamer and start being mad at them saying they're a company against recycling. And they just won't like the bad press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're getting it for sure. Wow. So.
And you can't rent the game. Like GameFly, they won't be able to rent the game out.
No.
It'll be interesting to see if GameFly actually buys it.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that they will.
I mean, why would they? Who's going to rent it?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got a really good point.
What will be interesting is to see what GameStop will buy it back for, if they'll buy it back.
Oh, they'll give you $1 for it.
60 cents.
No, knowing them, they'll fucking they'll give you $1 for it, and then they'll be like, yeah, it's it's $36.95.
Oh, Jason, you'll like this. I'm walking around a mall in Vegas, and I'm like, oh, hey, GameStop, and I walk in there, and I'm like, oh, fuck, it's exactly the same as it is in Canada. I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? And I walked out. And that's exactly what happens. Actually, that's a funny picture. Funny thing is that my girlfriend took a picture of me walking in. I didn't realize she did. I walked in. I go to grab one of the Game Boy games because I want to buy a bunch of games down there. And I'm like, oh, God, it's got the stickers on it. And I put it down, and the guy's like, hey, can I help you? And I'm like, no, I'm good, thanks. And I really wanted to say something. Yep, it's the same as Canada, pal. But I'm like, I'm just getting the hell out of here. And I thought of you, Jason. I'm like, for some reason, I'm like, God damn it, am I stupid or something? What was I expecting?
Yeah, dude, just cut, copy, paste all across the world with that place.
I was like, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about GameStop here, and Johnny, you can probably attest to this. Prices actually go up on games. When a new game comes out, they release it at $39.99 Canadian. If it's not purchased within the first 4 weeks, they up the price to $44.99 Canadian.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, you gotta be real careful of that.
I don't buy many games from those fucking assholes anyways.
No.
So good.
Every once in a while I have to. Like, I picked up a game today for the 3DS that Best Buy's sold out of, even on their website. And with no mail from Canada Post, it was like, whatever, just go to GameStop.
What game was it?
Dual Pen Sports.
Oh, really? I don't know that.
It's for the 3DS.
It's like the same theory when music stores, CD stores were around. You remember that back in the 80s and 90s when you'd walk in and a new release would come out on Tuesday, right? And believe it or not, when I was young, I used to go to midnight releases, just like we're doing now in video games. Awesome. On Tuesdays, they would release music at midnight on its release day, and I would be out there with my dad, my friends. We'd all at Tower Records and all these other places. Anyway, but it's the same talking about the GameStop and how they're raising their prices is where I'm tying this in. Same sort of theory. Back in the day, when a Tuesday would roll around, a new release would come out, it would be $12.99, $13.99. Well, after it, quote-unquote, became a non-new release, they would up it to $17, $18.99. Mm-hmm. So you'd walk into the store, and all the old CDs you'd think would be super cheap, they're all fucking $20.
No.
$20 for a fucking CD that's, 10, 15, who knows, 20 years old. It was crazy, and obviously they're not around much anymore. But that's for many, many other reasons. But anyway, just kind of resemblance there.
No, it's good analogy.
And you know that they paid the same price for it as when they sold it at $39.99.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just gouging the customer. It makes me so mad.
They're making so much off it. So much off it.
Like, you really need to take my extra $5? Like, really?
They do.
Just because I didn't pre-order it or get it on launch?
Oh, don't even talk about pre-orders. Oh,
don't even.
God.
This I was just about to say, Jason. Jason used to be the angry person when it came to the GameStop, but I've become the irate, fucking pissed off guy. These guys now. Well, so you went in to get Holly. Where did you get your Zelda from?
GameStop. Well, EB Games.
Yeah, EB Games to us up here is GameStop.
Yeah.
Like, did you get your poster?
No, but in my video, you'll see what I did get in place of the poster.
I've been away, so I've been in Vegas for 6 days, so I haven't watched any YouTube, so I might have missed everybody's videos that have been out recently.
Basically, what happened is they gave the posters out as a pre-order, but I pre-ordered mine before everyone else did. So they gave all the posters away. So when I picked up the game on launch, I'm like, where's my poster? Yeah. And it's EB Games I always go to, so they know me, and they're like, oh, shit. And they're like, yeah, we gave them all away already. And the guy went in the back, and he came out with this, like, point-of-sale Zelda thing. He's like, here. He's like, you can have this in its place, which is actually pretty cool, so I'm pretty happy.
Unbelievable.
Wait a second, what did you get? I don't understand what they gave you instead.
It's a giant... I'm going to corner mount it next to my shelves because it's kind of shaped like a crown, but it's the point-of-sale Zelda thing for the top of the end cap.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's a nice, sturdy, like, corrugated plastic.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they did it because I'm a girl. Yeah. And I'm in there all the time and they know me and I'm like sad about the poster. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they went out of their way to try and fix it, so I can't be mad about it.
But
we're missing the fucking point here. Let me just tell you a little something. You know what pisses me off? I don't care if they got Zelda to come and fondle my balls. Yeah. The problem of this is they missed the fucking point. You pre-ordered it for a poster. You didn't get that poster. They gave them all away. Yeah. They're doing bad business. They are taking way more pre-orders, and they're not either getting their merchandise or the employees are stealing all the posters. Don't promise stuff that you can't deliver. I don't care that, and that's great that they fixed it, and they should. They should do more for you because they fucked up. But the point is that if they said, okay, Mr. Heine, if you're going to buy, Zelda, we're going to give you a Zelda poster. Then that's what you get. The Zelda poster.
I've been burned on that before, though. I pre-ordered both Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I didn't get the Arceus statue.
They're doing it all over the fucking world. It just pisses me off.
Yep.
Damn, he's heated.
Oh.
Jason's heated.
It's bullshit, though, you guys. True. It's the point of the thing.
Yeah.
Holly was the first one to pre-order the game for the poster, and she didn't get. Why isn't there not like a poster there for the first 5 people who came? You know, who
I was the first pre-order for that. In fact, I pre-ordered it before the poster was announced.
What they should do is, they should have maybe 100 posters, whatever, per store, and they said we're going to take 100 pre-orders. And maybe they say, okay, we'll just let you know we're no longer we're out of posters, or before you buy it or before you pre-order it, so they know.
Mm-hmm. There should be a connection between how many games and how many pre-order bonuses they're going to have.
We gotta leave it. We're beating a dead horse. I know.
That's true.
Yeah, everybody's going to go, oh, they're bashing GameStop again. Those
okay. All right. We'll put it to rest.
We got to get some guy.
What about the other bad press that happened with Ocarina of Time, though? Do you remember that, Jason? Mm-hmm. The CD kerbuffle with Nintendo?
Oh.
Please explain to everybody what happened. I know a bit, but I don't know, super details. I just know everybody got kind of screwed.
Okay, so when I went to pick up my copy of Zelda, the Nintendo rep that actually sells to the EB Games was there. Her name's Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl, if you're listening. But she was there, and she was sad about the posters as well, and she was happy that they righted the wrong for me. And she also said to me, and this is at 12:13 in the afternoon, because they released the game at noon, and I'm on the East Coast. She said, if you have a smartphone, go online and register it now, because only the first 10,000 copies of the game are going to get the soundtrack. So before I left the store, I cracked open my copy of Zelda and I registered my Club Nintendo points. Well, by the time I got home at 12:23, the internet was afire with angry people because people had pop-up blockers and they weren't getting the messages they needed to get the soundtrack. And the Nintendo website crashed at one point, and it was just chaotic. Twitter, I must have seen 150 tweets about it at least.
Wow.
Anyway, Nintendo agreed to extend the offer until midnight Tuesday so that everyone would have time to register without site problems. But I guess Nintendo customer service got a whole bunch of phone calls. I know TV and Lust had called them. People were tweeting that they were calling them about it. People in the UK were having issues. Like, it was just nuts. I don't know why they thought it'd be a good idea to tell all their fans who pre-ordered a game to all come to their website at the same time.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It's probably their own fault, but at least they made sure everybody got a copy of the CD.
Yeah, it's
That's a
like,
tough
you know,
one.
Zelda fans are quite intense,
Yes.
especially Ocarina of Time fans. This is like, you know, it's on Game Facts. It's like the greatest game ever made type of thing. And they're releasing it in 3D on the 3DS. Like, oh my God, don't tell those fans that they're going to get stuff and then you can't, like, just don't do it. Just say, here's the game. Everybody would just be happy to get the game and go home. Don't promise them stuff. Don't promise them anything.
You know what else is really interesting about Ocarina of Time on the 3DS? Only 20% of system owners bought the game.
Huh.
What the hell is everybody else playing?
There's a lot to play out there, and you know, I gotta say, I think we all can say, like, there's been no time in history like this for video games. There's just any kid can go out now, go down to the local Best Buy, buy a couple of used games, be entertained for like 5 months.
True.
There's so much stuff. You can go.
Games just take so long to beat nowadays too. It's crazy.
Well, yeah. Well, there's just so many games, and there's so many great games. It's just a flooded market. I've never seen the market so flooded.
It's a big business right now. Yeah, it's huge.
Huge business, and a lot of people are losing to. I understand a lot of people are losing to used video games. When I go to Best Buy, I go and check out the used video games every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one out of 5 3DS owners picked up Zelda? That just seems so low.
No, it's beyond reality. I have no explanation, or I can't even fathom why that would be. You'd think everybody would have bought it.
Or at least half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the deal about the used games, though. We're talking about GameStop and stuff. I was at the GameStop today, and this is what happened. I'll tell you what happened. A guy was ordering a game. I think it was Portal 2, purchasing brand new. And the employee at GameStop says, you know what? We have a used copy. Why don't you get that? Save a couple of dollars, right? But why is GameStop pushing used sales? Because they have a higher markup on used sales.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Yeah, they make almost probably 100% of that, really.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They give them store credit, whatever. Yeah, they make a shitload more on a used sales game. So partially it's kind of, you know, I don't know. It's kind of GameStop's causing kind of their own worst enemy here because they're really pushing new sales. You know, especially if the customer's willing to pay for a new game.
Yeah, I mean, if they're willing to pay for a new game, then they should buy the new game.
Yeah.
In Canada, they're like, oh, you didn't get your poster. Let me fix that.
Yeah.
What the hell happened?
I don't know. We lost you.
We lost you.
I think, you know, I had to shut down Skype and everything worked again.
Yeah.
I fucked up my whole internet. I don't know what's going on there. So
It's all good. All right. So what do you guys want to talk about now? Where do you want to go from here?
games we've been playing or not playing. Are we recording?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, games we've been playing or not playing. So, do you guys want to do that?
Sure. I mean, we did one on Sunday, but yeah, no, absolutely. We can. I'm curious what you've been playing and Holly's been playing.
Holly, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Zelda, Ocarina of Time for the 3DS. I've also become sadly addicted to Nintendogs plus cats.
Oh,
I know I've talked about it on OKS, but I can't put this game down. I mean, seeing my little cats and my little dog with fleas having their bellies be hungry, it just breaks my heart.
You know, it was always funny when me and my friends were playing Nintendogs back in the day, and we wouldn't go on for a week. We always used to joke around that, you know, the dogs probably, you know, like skin and bones, and they've been eating their own feces for a week. We're always laughing about that. And then you always come on, and your dog's sitting there, he's like, woof, woof, and he ignores you for a bit, then he finally comes up. You slap him a couple of times, and he gets a hint, and he starts coming beside you again. Everything's good. You know, I love
Yeah.
That reminds me of a funny, real funny story real quick. I just want to chime in. Maybe 10 years ago, my brother was supposed to be cat sitting for our neighbor for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And he forgot to
Fuck off!
for 2 weeks. No, I'm serious, dude. This is crazy. So really sad. And so the neighbors come home, and the seriously cat's still alive, but like in literally like frail and like bony, and like and like the cat survived. But dude, the neighbors are so fucking pissed at my brother for forgetting to feed it.
Was this your brother Gary?
Greg? Yeah,
I know. I'm just joking.
yeah. You call him Gary all the time.
Yeah. There's a funny thing. I met Gamester Holly. I met Gamester's brother at PAX. For some reason, I called him Gary the whole time, but his name was Greg. I'm like, hey, Gary, come over here. And he'd be.
You went with it too. Like whatever.
And you know what? I think I'm always going to call him Gary.
He'll be there at the PAX this year too.
I'm always happy to see Gary. It's awesome. It was so funny because I was saying to him, I said, hey, Gary, come over here. And I guess he was like looking at John, Gamester going, what the fuck is this guy saying? Like, and he'd be like, yeah, I'm here.
Don't tell him, John, but you'll have to. I'm going to PAX, and so is Tim. So we'll all call him Gary. Then he'll really lose his mind.
Hey, Holly, you're going to PAX as well?
Yes.
Nice. Awesome.
Nice. We'll see you there. Very cool.
We're going to have a big motley crew.
Oh, my God. Please give me a few wristbands because I want to get into the party.
We're all getting. All
Jeez.
getting.
It's going to be
We
awesome.
are the party.
Crazy. We should do a meetup again too, and then just announce to everyone, hey, we'll be at this, up in front at this time, this day. And
We
We'll
totally
all
should
do
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Ollie will do it. Like Tim will do it. Like Pete. Jason. Everybody will do it. It'll be an amazing thing.
YouTube community meetup,
The
yeah,
biggest
so-
community meetup ever. It'll be
Fucking
something.
sweet. Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is, if I ever get cats, I'm not having Gary come over here to look after my cats. That's the one thing I figured out from all this crap.
No, I don't like Gary either. Making a cat starve.
He's a nice guy, you should still have him look after your cats.
Well,
That's crazy.
I got a sixth sense of humor. For some reason, I see the fucking funny side of that. Like, he must have felt so bad.
You could see the cat's intestines, and it was bad. Like,
Holy!
it was so,
Gary.
Oh, that Gary not looking after the cats again.
oh.
I'm gonna have to talk to him about that when I'm at PAX.
I gotta remember that story.
I really like cats.
You cat killer.
He's a cat killer. A cat killer.
Holly, are you playing anything?
Yeah, I was playing Zelda Ocarina of Time. I've been playing some Steel Diver. My PlayStation 3 is still dead. It makes me sad.
What happened to it?
Fucking yellow lighted death.
Fucking hell.
I know. I did that stupid update when Okay, you guys know what happened, right? I rented Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I rented Mortal Kombat, then PlayStation Network went down, so I never got to play it. So PlayStation Network came back up. I did my update. I rented Mortal Kombat again, and right after the update, fucking yellow light of death.
Oh my god.
I know. I wanted to throw it through the window.
What causes the yellow light of death? I've never had that happen.
There's a GPU and a CPU in the PlayStation 3, and the thermal paste on it cracks. That's all it is. So it just has to be wiped off and resealed. Yeah, it just overheats. It's kind of like the red ring of death, except it's not a heat sink. It's a thermal paste.
So you can fix it pretty easily.
Yeah, but I wish Sony had spent some extra cash on some good thermal paste.
What model of PS3 do you have? You have the first model or the second model? Slim.
I have this 60 gig.
Okay, so you have the better. Yeah, you have the better one, the backwards compatibility one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Me too.
That sucks, Holly.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
I get it fixed for $50, so I'll get it fixed eventually when my friend has time.
Nice. I should get to it. But anything else? Do you have a 360?
Nope. I ran that over with my car.
When?
But 3 years ago, right before I started YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I had one of the launch 360s, and it was fine until I played Gears of War. And then my controller rumbled uncontrollably. My game would freeze with my face half blown off. And I called Xbox support, and they said, oh, your power supply is too hot. So I actually rigged something up that looked much like one of those IV holders, so that the power supply had a fan on it, and it was all good. And I got the red ring of death 3 times. They refurbished it 3 times. They sent me free games. I got a free copy of Assassin's Creed when it first came out. I got a free copy of some airplane game when it first came out. the replaced Xbox that they said was going to be good red ringed another 2 times. So I finally just decided it was a piece of crap, and I ran it over with my car and sent it back to Microsoft, and they sent me a nice letter saying, unfortunately, due to physical damage in your equipment, it won't be covered under your warranty.
Wow,
I just kind of left it. I was mad.
Wow.
It died the last time it died playing Viva Pinata. I'm like, seriously?
Oh my god.
Seriously. So that's when I went out and got my PS3. And I never looked back. Yeah, and then it died finally.
And then that died.
It's just a matter of time. All this technology, they're all just ticking time bombs.
My Game Boy still works from 1989.
That's what I was going to say. All the old things. My fucking TurboGrafx and CD-ROM attachment still work from 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1990. The more CD unit ever released.
I've dropped my Game Boy several times. There's big chunks of plastic out of the corners from it. It still works.
Yes, when you start putting hard drives in and doing updates and oh my god, like the thing is with hard drives is they're moving pieces. It's gonna break. Exactly.
Yeah, it's more intricate at this point.
Yeah.
I hate those fucking updates though. Really, every time I buy a new game, I have to wait fucking forever for it to update.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I hate that.
Well, the PS. Yeah, so we're becoming such a hate channel. I hate everything. We hate everything. I hate this and I hate that and I hate it that you hate it.
The point is that video games should go back to cartridges.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, in some way.
I really think someone should release an 8 or 16-bit console on cartridge.
But think of it like this, too. That's actually kind of a great idea. Think about this.
Imagine if that's the only way you could play Mega Man 9 and 10. How many of us would own it?
Yeah, well, a bunch, but there'd be a hell of a lot that wouldn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, but think of it like this, too. In the world we live in today, you can get a terabyte SD card, flash drive.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. If they just do a cartridge, they can just cram that thing now. Back in the day, remember they did cartridges? It was like, oh, we can only fit so much on it because technology is only this far.
Exactly.
Now, they could probably fit as much as they want in a cartridge the size of a Super NES cart.
Imagine Duke Nukem with no load times.
Yeah, it just basically like streaming it right off the memory on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's kind of cool.
But then again, that's what DS games are, and 3DS games are kind of that.
True. Yeah.
Type of thing. But, and that's why they wouldn't release it like a console like that because you got it on a handheld now.
Yeah.
Type of thing. But Holly, anything else you've been playing? Anything fun or exciting?
No, that was it.
Nintendogs, eh?
Yeah, my Nintendog, my original one ran away. And I mirrored it after my real dog, so it actually bugged me. So I'm scared my dog's going to run away again.
For some reason, right now, all I'm thinking about is that eHarmony kitten chick video.
What?
Well, I don't want all of it.
Oh, yeah.
Please tell me you guys have seen it. Holly, you've seen that video.
Yes. Yeah, it's fake. But
it's totally fake, but that's all I'm thinking right now. It's hilarious.
I watched it at work. I started crying. I was laughing so hard. When she started talking about putting bow ties on them and having them be on rainbows, I was like, this is so fake.
Yeah, totally. Good stuff.
I've heard about it, but oh my god. But yeah, I want to get Gary looks after kittens, that game. I want that one.
Gary's Kitten Adventures.
Gary's Kitten Adventures. So you go over and you drop your cats off. You come back 2 weeks later, they're dead.
Just one last comment.
Yeah.
About cat videos. Have you ever seen the senile cat?
No, I don't think so.
No, I haven't.
If you want to laugh, look up senile cat on YouTube. Oh my god, that one's funny too.
Cat video. Do you know how many cat videos there is on YouTube?
Billions.
Oh my god! As soon as I put senile, it goes senile cat. You refer to?
It's a big video. It's funny.
Oh, is it the cats that are talking to each other?
It's like this crazy cat walked up to this normal cat and started yelling. Oh, it's so funny.
Oh, how scary this world is that I've actually seen that. I've already watched that. That cat video was so last week, Holly.
It came right on after the eHarmony chick. That's how I saw it. It went crazy cat girl and then senile cat. So I checked it out. Yeah,
and what they did, I saw one that had like subtitles and all that. Yeah, I guess I've never seen the original. I saw the one with subtitles. Yeah, it's goofy, but it's fun times. So Gary's Kitten Adventures. I like that. That's a game that I play. It's a game where everybody wins in the end.
Yeah.
You gotta tell Gary about that.
Yeah, he might kill it.
You should buy him a copy of Nintendogs plus Cat. See how long it takes.
Oh
You
my
practice
God.
up.
I'll be like, here you go, Greg. Give it back to me in 2 weeks, and I want all of them to be dead. Thank you. And then 2 weeks later, I go, good job.
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I find that story so funny, John. It's terrible. It's like animal abuse. Your brother's like an animal abuser in a way, and I'm kind of laughing at. What I find so funny is he was just so like he had no fucking idea. That's what I like. He's out riding his bike around the neighborhood, and there's this cat like, dying in the sun. You know what I mean? That's just so funny. Like all you see, he's there riding the bike. There's a classic tale like, yay, and all of his friends are playing. And all of a sudden, it cuts to a scene of this window, and you see this cat paw going, and it just scratches down the window, and that's the end of it. Oh, fuck, awkward. Oh, John's upset at him insulting his brother. Like, almost.
Fuck you, man. No.
Fuck you, man. He didn't mean to kill the cat. He didn't mean to. He was playing with his friends for 2 weeks. He didn't know.
Greg was a nice kid.
Yeah.
Gary's a nice guy. I can't wait to see him again. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. I can't
What
wait
have you
to
been
pack.
playing? What's that? Yeah.
What have I been playing? What have I been playing? I'm still, playing LA Noire here and there. I'm actually been out of town the last couple of days, but playing Excite Bike for the 3DS still a little bit here and there. And that's really been it since my update, because we just did a podcast a couple of days ago as of recording this. So I haven't really played anything too new since the previous podcast, episode 48. But that's it. How about you, Jason?
Well, John and I have been playing something.
Oh, yes, dude. Okay, Johnny, we did. We talked about this last podcast, but Dynamite Ducks.
And I did see the video. It was a great video, by the way. It was a horrible trip down memory lane. And it's funny, I was already planning a long time ago to do a video about Dynamite Ducks, so it was quite fun to see that. It inspired me. I'm like, I better get on my video.
What amazes me the most is when you die, it says retry or continue.
Don't hit retry.
Oh my God. Who was thinking that was a good idea? And they put retry as the first option. If you hit retry, it puts you to the beginning of the game. Yeah, and you get to watch the intro and everything.
Well, you know what the problem is? I only ever did that once. I don't think I only died ever once. The game was so goddamn easy. It was so ridiculous. And that fucking music, oh my God. And the pasteliness of it all. The happiness of that retarded duck. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, this game is something else, I'll tell you that. And
I paid like fucking $90 for that thing back in the day.
God. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one to swallow for sure.
It was horrible. Like, I really enjoyed the video, guys. Like, it was funny to see you both playing that fucking terrible, terrible abomination of a game.
Yeah, and what we're talking about, guys, is that John and I sat down, if you haven't seen it yet, John and I sat down, did some couch confessionals. We played we played some Dynamite Ducks on the Sega Master System. So check that out on our YouTube channel, All Gen Gamers YouTube channel, if you haven't. Check that out.
It was funny. It was a hoot, man. It was good times. I think our next one should be Mad Max.
For sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys got to do a video on that. That would be excellent.
It's in the works. Love it.
And hey, you got to get Gary on and play some Nintendogs. That'd be good too.
Yeah, you can kill the cat. Starve it.
Yeah.
And
we'll play it for real.
It's funny.
I guess any of the other stuff I've been playing is for the PC on Steam, we have Quantum of Solace. This is the 007 game that came out like 3 years ago, something like that. Just an average game, really, but nevertheless, it's a good shooter. It went on sale for $6, and that makes it a fantastic shooter in my book. So it went on sale for like $6 for one day. I have the hard copy up and buried somewhere, but for $6, I mean, you can't really go wrong. So I picked that up and started playing through that again and played about an hour or so. So it's a good little shooter. I played online with somebody from who knows what part in the world, but there was just one guy on there, but kind of funny. So I got back into doing that. Also started playing some more co-op in Left 4 Dead 2. It's really funny. Like, when I launch Steam and I load in a game, it's kind of like Xbox Live or the PS Network. When you're in a game, everyone can see what's going on. So when I launched that, I got lit up. I mean, I've got a lot of friends on there, and they're just like, "Oh, can I play? Can I play? Can I play?" My chat box just going all the way up my monitor, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And so I'm like, "Yeah, we'll play." And it can only have 4 people per session, so like we were all kind of like taking turns, stuff like that. But it was still fun. So Left 4 Dead 2, what a great game there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I really like it. So, other than that, Team Fortress 2. I know they're all shooters, right? Who knew, right? But Team Fortress 2 went totally free. This was not that long ago. I think I mentioned it last time, but I forgot. It went free. Everyone can download it and play it. So definitely let's get some game nights going with that. Team Fortress 2 for PC on Steam. Pretty cool. And again, if you want to add me on Steam, JAYSUN169 is the gamer tag. We can play. Other than that, that's all I've been playing.
Jason, like, before I did the podcast tonight, I'm at work. I'm coming home, and the guy, one of my friends at work, he's like, "Oh, make sure you talk about the new tribes coming out." I'm like, "New tribes?" I'm like, "I don't know anything about that." Did you hear anything about that?
I remember Tribes back in the day.
They've done a remake of it or something, and I don't know any. Sorry, I was asking you because I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is the first I've heard that they're coming out with a new one. I played Tribes back in the day when it was like on Windows 95, dude, like Windows 98, like way back in the day.
I think it's a remake. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about this because he just said you got to mention it on the podcast. I'm like, okay, new Tribes game. Okay,
yeah. No, that's cool. I haven't played it in years. I mean, it's from what I remember, it's you fly around in these like mech type vehicles, I think, or they're animals or dinosaurs, or I don't really remember. I do remember flying around and attacking my enemies a lot. That's about all I remember of it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe everyone else out there who are Tribe fans can really chime in. But I'd be interested to play a new version of it, especially if we have some online capabilities. There'll probably be some really cool co-op stuff going on with that. So that's cool.
I have no idea. I didn't know if that was something that everybody was talking about or what. So that's why I thought I'd bring it up because I wanted to learn something about it. So maybe next time we'll talk about it. We'll know a little bit more about it.
Do some more research. Yeah, I'll look into it.
Definitely. All that.
It's another Gary was telling me about.
What was Gary talking about?
He pointed me. He sent me a link about a week ago. I still need to check it out, and by next episode, I'll definitely have my feedback. But King's Quest, you guys remember King's Quest?
Oh my
God! Yeah.
Remakes are available to play online for free with voiceovers and everything.
What?
Like complete new graphics and everything. Yeah.
Where at?
So, I'm very excited about that.
Where at, John? Where are those?
The website is called it's agdinteractive.com. So I'm going to it now to check it out.
That's cool. Fuck, dude, I remember playing King's Quest back in the freaking day on my Mac.
AGD, yeah, this is Mac compatible and PC compatible, which is nice. This is agdinteractive.com.
Nice. I love the game. The first King's Quest I ever played was on the Master System. Yeah. And it was a very, 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 I don't think a very good port. It was very hard to navigate, but I liked the game. I thought it was really cool. And then I saw my friends play all the rest, and I was like, that's just pretty cool stuff. I love the King's Quest games. I thought they were really neat. And then they just died off.
It's cool. It's cool. This looks cool, man.
The Master System is such an underrated console.
Oh, isn't that, though? What's your favorite game on the Master System, Holly?
Bubble Bobble.
Is it really?
Well, it's only because it's a perfect arcade port. And my second favorite, Bubble Bobble, it's a perfect arcade port of Bubble Bobble. Like, that's up there for me because I played it so much as a kid. But Monster Boy 3, Dragon's Lair, Dragon's Trap. Yeah, that would be next in line.
I love that game. Did you finish that game?
Yes.
Good, so did I. That was tough back then.
Yeah, it is a hard game, and I went back and played it, and I was playing the very first level of it, and I couldn't figure out how to change into the creatures at first, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to go over here.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Mario. Like when I played Mario, I could play it with my eyes closed, but it was one of those games I played and I finished, and I almost forgot about.
Yeah, I actually played the I played the Master System version. I finished that, but the one that I really remember was the TurboGrafx version. That's the one I really enjoyed. But isn't that an underrated game? I really think that's such an underrated game.
What game is I missed that? Sorry, what game?
Oh, Monster Boy 3, Dragon's
Monster Boy,
Trap. I think it's
Did
Dragon.
you do a video, Johnny, a Monster Boy?
Yeah, I did the entire Wonder Boy series.
Yeah, Wonder Boy, yeah.
Oh,
And
Wonder
all-
Boy. That's right.
Wonder Boy.
Another good one is Fantasy Zone. Love that game.
Oh, I
too.
love that game.
It's a Star Wars-ish, man. I love it.
What's that?
Fantasy Star or Fantasy Zone? What are you talking about?
Fantasy
No,
Zone.
Fantasy
Fantasy
Zone.
Fantasy
okay.
Zone.
Yeah, Fantasy
That's
Zone
the
is
Opa.
that's a
Yeah.
shooter, right? It's a kind of a side-scroller shooter.
And it's so colorful. As a kid, it was just like great because all the other shooters are space shooters. So I was drawn to that one.
It's funny, Holly. The thing that a lot of people don't know about Fantasy Zone is that it was actually a huge hit in Japanese arcades. A huge hit. Everybody was playing that fucking game in arcades in Japan, and that's why there was so many ports of it. Because it was a very popular game. And
Super
nobody
Fantasy. Super Fantasy Zone's on the Wii Virtual Console now. We never got that one.
Oh, is that the 3D one?
I don't know if it's 3D, but it was the one that released on the Mega Drive. We never got it here, just the UK and Japan.
I've got the Fantasy Zone collection on the PS2.
Oh, it might be on that one. It's the one that
Yeah.
has the jack-o'-lantern boss.
Yeah, why do I think it's in 3D for some goddamn reason? I think it is. I think there was one Fantasy Zone game I think that wasn't finished as well, and I think the only thing a bootleg copy of that got. I don't even want to talk about it because I have very shitty memories. I'd have to actually go back and research it all. But I remember, there was a very rare Fantasy Zone game that was never released. I think or something. Anyways, never.
Isn't there a version on the TurboGrafx 16 as well?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there was quite literally Fantasy Zone was on everything. I think it was on the NES, the Master System. Oh God, yeah, all that shit.
Yeah, it was released on one of those Tengen cartridges on the NES.
That's right. Yeah. And TurboGrafx and all that crap, but love the game. I think it's Opa Opa is like Opa Opa actually used to be one of the mascots of Sega. Just kind of like Alex Kidd used to be one of the mascots of Sega, and everybody forgets that. They always think that Sonic was the main guy, but no. Before Sonic, there was Alex Kidd and Opa Opa, and they were the main guys for Sega back then, which was really cool. So that's pretty old school. Old school. But
That is old school.
video games I've been playing, just a bit of Ocarina of Time before I left to go to Vegas. And the thing is I was so exhausted in Vegas walking around that we got to one arcade. You know the one, the Sega arcade we were talking about. Sorry, it's the GameWorks, isn't it? Yeah.
GameWorks?
Yeah. By the MGM. And to be honest, guys, I'm not a hater, but I'm walking around. I'm just like, yeah, been there, done all these arcade games. It's the same old shit that's been in arcades for the last 6 years. Like, there's nothing that I go, whoa at. But a lot of the great arcade games are still in Japan only. That never get, come out over here, which is really frustrating.
Taiko
So it's
Drum
like-
Master.
Yeah, well, I guess, that kind of thing. I don't follow that particularly. But there's a lot of really unique Japanese games that never come out here. I'm so sick and tired of playing Time Crisis. I'm like, oh, Time Crisis again. Cool. And what's another one? Initial D. It's like another Initial D. And I'm not a hater, but I'm like, oh, it's the same games from 5 years ago. Right? Do you guys agree, though?
I agree. Have you seen that?
Yeah, 2 point.
There's a Dragon Quest arcade game that has a sword.
Yes.
And that looks so cool. I almost spent $300 to import that for the Wii with the sword controller.
Yeah. It was funny. Me and Splatter Trigger were both talking about that. We're like, should we get it? Should we not? And I'm just like, no, I can't get it. Jesus.
Yeah, it's not in English. I wouldn't be able to read it.
Yeah. Actually, do you remember, Holly, the original?
Sounds cool, though.
Do you ever remember the original Dragon Quest swords?
Yes. Yeah.
Was this like a standalone thing that you could buy and hook up to your TV with a sword? And you could swing?
No, I don't remember that one.
Well, but okay, before Dragon Quest Swords, there was a device. Oh, I wish I knew the name. I used to remember the name of it, but it was just like a toy that you would buy. And
I thought you meant.
Sorry, what's that?
I thought you meant the one for the Wii.
No, there was one before that was in Japan, and it just came with a sword. And I think it came with a shield. I played it in a gaming toy store in the Chinese district in Vancouver here. It's called Yoham Center anyways, but I played it out there, but it was so cool. And you hooked it up to your TV, really old school. Like, I think you even hooked it up RF. I don't even know if it was AV. And this is probably, maybe about 9-10 years ago. Crazy. And you hooked it up, and it was quite, it was really the beginning of what Dragon Quest Swords was going to be. So it's more like choose your own way, go left or go right. And then you'd swing the sword, and very, no pun intended, very medieval compared to what Dragon Quest Swords ended up becoming. Because I like Dragon Quest Swords. I think it's an excellent game.
It's an awesome game.
It's an awesome game. And totally underrated.
Yeah.
So underrated.
Everybody bashed that game because you had to, choose your direction, and it was a first-person sword game. But it's the whole reason I picked up Dual Pen Sports for the 3DS today, because a lot of the games that look gimmicky actually are really good. And Dragon Quest Swords is a good example of that.
Yeah, a great game. And you know what? For the collection, I might go and buy. I'm going to track down. I'm going to try to remember what it's called on eBay and see if I can find one of those things. What's it called? Dragon Quest Curran or something. I can't remember. But
if you
it was
find
very cool. Yeah.
If you find it, shoot me a link. I'd like to see it too.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly having a look here. Dragon Quest. I'm going crazy. I have to know it's. No. All I'm getting is bastards. All I'm getting is the fucking Dragon Quest Swords. Nope, here. I found a picture of it. Yeah, it's a shield. It's like a shield reader and a little sword. And I put my cursor over it. Kenshin. Dragon Quest. Kenshin. I thought it was Curran. It's Kenshin. Yeah, very cool thing. But I'll see if I can actually. I'll send you a link to that for sure. Cool. I do not to update anything. Thank you. I don't know what the fuck my browser's doing here, but anyways, yeah, a bit of opening of time. That's really all I did. And I looked around at some arcades. I played a couple of games that weren't very interesting. Just these average bullshit. Just to spend a quarter while I was waiting for things. Whoa, that's what I spent a quarter on. I played Tekken 5. I was like, what game was that again? It was Tekken 5. I'm like, I don't know if it's difficult. I'm not a good Tekken player. Let that be known. I suck. I'm terrible. I got fucking destroyed by the computer on the first guy. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing Tekken for a while, but that's about it. So I'm so happy to be back that now I can just get back to my life and get back to playing games and get back to doing the show and get back to normal life and stuff like that again. So that's kind of the cool thing. So,
hey, Johnny, on the side note, man, I saw your outtake video recently posted. Hilarious.
Yeah, it was good. I laughed my ass off at that.
That was funny.
What did you guys like? What was your favorite bit in that?
I just the fact that you like the bit where you're doing like you're showcasing your shit and there's a plant behind you.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
You're fucking plant, shit, fucking plant.
It reminded me of the flies with Winnebago Man. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Oh, no. God, I love when I cried.
When he started doing that with the plant, that's who I thought of. Fucking
get out of here, you goddamn fucking flies.
What was funny about that and why I was, even me and Rob, I know the outtakes are going to be funny for the show when I have Rob over, and me and him have tears coming out of our eyes. And we're fucking crying as we're watching ourselves. I'm like, if we're laughing, some other people might find this funny. But what was frustrating is because that was the couple episodes where I went around my place and I showed different aspects of my place. Nobody knows. That was like one of the hardest episodes I've ever done because I'd have to keep moving the camera over, moving the light, moving the microphone. And I kind of was getting really hot and agitated near the end. And that was near the end. And I'm trying to get it set up. And every time I get set up, I start trying to do something. And then all of a sudden the light would suck. And it'd be like, it was just one fucking thing after another. And so I'm there and I'm like, okay, what am I trying to say about this display case? And then all of a sudden, this fucking plant, I'm just like, it just pissed me off so much. And it's really funny. What I find funny about it is if you watch that outtakes video is that after I go back and I'm like choking the plant, right? Smash it into the wall. I turn around and I'm kind of, it kind of shows how embarrassed I look at the situation about what I just did. And I think it's so funny. Even I'm laughing at that. And actually the bit that I really like is when I'm trying to do the microphone. I'm trying to set the microphone and I'm just like, fuck off.
That was funny.
You slam the stand down.
I was so mad. I was the fucking sweat was building, but yeah.
The bit in the end of the bathtub was funny too. I'm in a fucking bathtub. This is fucking weird.
I know things are getting weird, with this show, and I'm sitting in a bathtub. I'm like, what the hell is going on with my life? Like, how did I come to this strange moment? Because I never actually ever thought that I'd ever be in front of a camera, doing anything. You know how it is, Holly. Like when you start off, you're like,
yeah.
Being in front of I don't think I've met anybody who's like, yes, I love being in front of the camera day one. Nobody did.
Do you know what I still have a hard time with? And my channel is not half as big as you guys, but I still have a hard time realizing that people on the internet can see me.
Yeah.
Like I do my videos for myself and for people I know in the community. But when someone outside of that, like a friend in real life says, well, Holly, it's on the internet. It's still kind of, it takes me back a bit.
Yeah, you really, with these videos that all of us do, is that we're really putting ourselves out there. And I think it's not the case of we're like, we get used to the fact that we're on, people see us, but your mind has a hard time wrapping around that so many people are watching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like it's kind of like, yeah, that when people come up to me, I never ever thought it would ever happen to me. When people come up to me and say, "Oh my God, dude, yeah, you're the happy console gamer guy." I was walking probably a couple months ago, and this like skateboarder guy, all these piercings, kind of like me, and and his girlfriend, his punked out girlfriend, they're like walking next to me, and I'm walking to this thing called the SkyTrain, and he's like, "Hey," and I'm just walking up, and I'm like, "Hey, hey, what's up?" And he's like, "You have that show on YouTube." I'm like, "Oh yeah, like the game review show." And he's like, "Yeah, I love your show, man." And he's like, what was so weird for me is he was like nervous, and I'm like, "Why are you nervous meeting me?" I couldn't fucking wrap my head around it. Mm-hmm. I was so honored that he knew who I was and he watched the show. And his girlfriend is like, she's like thinking, I could read her. She's like, oh, big, like, she's like looking at me going, oh, who gives a shit? It's just some guy, which I totally agree with. But he was like, so, like, I guess a little bit, I'm in his house.
Yeah. It's almost creepy. Like a friend of mine at work, I told him that I did YouTube videos and it took him like 15 minutes to find me. Yeah. And he's like, YouTube uses more bandwidth now than the entire internet did in 2001. And I said to him, like, well, yeah, that makes sense. And he's like, Holly, that includes porn. I was like, oh.
That's a lot, right?
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's funny that's the thing. You don't know, so it's wild that so many people watch these shows. It's cool, but I don't think you can really wrap your head around it until you actually meet people. Definitely not. Like I know for you, John, isn't it funny that you guys go, like in that Game Chasers episode, remember that one where they go into that store and they're like, yeah, we know you guys because we saw one of your videos posted by Gamester81. What is the chance? Of that happening?
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I was buying something on eBay once. And he recognized my my name because my eBay name is like one of my YouTube channel's name, So he's like, "Oh, you're the guy. There's a YouTube shit. Will this be on YouTube?" It was wild. I'm like, "Wow,
yeah,
that's cool." But
that's funny. It's awesome. But yeah, no, it's funny that Holly. Yeah, it's funny that. When I do the videos too, I agree with you. I think we all do. Is that I feel like I'm just talking to the camera and having a bit of fun, and then I put the video out there and I'm like, oh yeah, like 30,000 people might watch this. More people than that might watch this. Like you're like, whoa, that's actually a lot of people. When you kind of stop and kind of like it sinks in with you. To me, it's a very intimate show. I don't think of it as reaching everybody. I don't think of it as a TV show, but in a way, it has a certain. It kind of gets blasted out to people the same way a television show does in a way. It's wild.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think about 5,000 people standing in a room watching me. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the amount of people like Gamester that must be watching your videos and they're like sitting at their computer like naked.
Totally
Hey
new.
now.
Totally new.
Hey now.
It's true.
You're going to give me nightmares.
Well, it's true. Like people doing the weirdest things, watching Gamesters videos and Pete Dorr. Oh my god! Like the amount of naked young boys watching Pete Dorr's videos.
Jerking off the Happy Console Gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend getting naked for my show. Thank you. Oh, thanks.
When are you going to do those naked video game reviews, Johnny?
You remember that, right? You remember
Yeah,
that?
I remember.
But it wasn't supposed to be. That was my original idea because I didn't know what I wanted to do back in the day. I'm like, maybe like it wasn't me going to be naked. I have to stress that people would be tuning off, like Jesus Christ. But yeah, I remember when I originally wanted to do a show of some kind. Get this, and this is I can actually say this to you guys. I think I probably mentioned this on the show once or twice. Back in the early day, is that years ago, even before the Angry Video Game Nerd, like we had a friend of ours, me and Rob. His name was Aaron, and he was a very negative guy. Oh my god! You know, like we joke around about being negative on things, but this guy was negative about everything. He'd be like, a new Nintendo game, Zelda would come out. He'd be like, "Yeah, fucking Nintendo, fucking releasing the same shit they shovel out every fucking year. Goddamn, fucking hate Nintendo. Fucking want some more of my money. Ain't getting any of my fucking money." That's how he used to talk. And I had all these different friends. I had another friend of mine who'd would turn on video games, but he'd buy the latest greatest games, but he'd only ever watch the title screen. He'd play maybe the first level, and that'd be it. And so we actually called him the start screen master.
Nice.
Right? So I started writing all these things down, and I had a girlfriend of mine who was at the time was really she was actually a big fan of video games, and yet she would have done the topless video game things. She wanted to do topless video game reviews. I talked to her about it. She's like, "Yeah, I'll do that." I'm like, so I wrote that one down. I had all these things. So get this. My idea for a show was going to be like 5 segments. It was going to be, get this. This is true. I'm not taking anything away from the Angry Video Game Nerd. He is the legend and everything. But the name of our friend was going to be the Disgruntled Nintendo Fan. That's before the Angry Video Game Nerd. We're talking like 10 years ago. Because he was so negative against Nintendo. It was he was negative against everything, but we're not friends with him anymore because he's so negative, actually. It's just so funny. But then we're going to have our friend he's going to have his segment called the Start Screen Master. He's going to be the Start Screen Master. And he just, say something like, "Hey guys, blah, blah, blah. I'm the Start Screen Master. And today I'm going to play this game." He put it on. He'd watch the title and go, "That was awesome." And then we just go to the next segment. and then we do the topless video game review. And then I had all these weird ideas, and that was going to be the original idea to do a video game show. And I didn't think I could do it on YouTube. I never even thought about YouTube at the time. I thought maybe I could do it for some site. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was kind of in a dreamy state. And so thanks, Holly, for remembering that. I originally wanted to do it was going to be topless video game reviews by women, because guys wouldn't sell anything. If I had Gamester 81 on the show doing topless video game reviews, I don't know how that. Actually, who knows? It might be a massive success.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, I'd watch it too.
I'd watch it. I know I would.
Watch that shit. I'd be in a lineup for that shit.
I'd be there filming that shit.
We're gonna film that live at PAX, guys.
Excellent.
Hilarious.
I don't even know where we started from there. Was it game?
Sorry.
I want to say something real quick. We were talking about games we've been playing recently. I did watch, and this is something that Tim recommended last podcast, I think, was that pinball documentary called Special When Lit.
Oh, really?
And I watched it on Hulu.
We're not allowed to have cool stuff like awesome sites that stream live TV.
I streamed it. It was really cool. You can get it on Amazon, and it's a really cool. It's worth checking out. It talks about the history of pinball. It goes to the very beginning, like the beginning history of it, like how it started. And I didn't realize that for 30 years in the States, I don't know how it was in Canada, but for the States, it was illegal to play pinball machines. It was considered gambling. So that's interesting. But yeah, it was cool. And then it's kind of like King of Kong for pinballs.
What's the name? Sorry, what's the name of it? I got to write this down, John.
Special When Lit.
You know what's funny about that is gambling is the one thing that's allowed up here.
Yeah, I know. Figure it. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Really?
Yeah, we don't ban that in any way, shape, or form.
What was the other thing that you were recommending, to watch? Oh, you recommended something earlier on.
Oh, it was Chasing Ghosts.
No. Early on in the podcast, I wrote it down and I've lost it. Something to watch.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Oh, Debbie Does Dallas? Is that like with the guy and the girl and they have sex?
Debbie does the world.
I've heard rumors of this thing called sex. I don't really know too much about it.
Don't tell your friend Aaron about it. He won't like it.
Yeah, fucking sex. I goddamn hate fucking sex.
And beer.
Yeah, it's totally fucking overrated. Like, everybody's having sex. I don't give a shit about that kind of shit. Like, fuck, I'm not doing what everybody's fucking doing. Yeah, he was so negative.
A King's Quest one, Johnny?
No, I forget what it was. I wrote it down and on my computer screen, then I fucking closed the browser, so I have no idea what it was.
With the King's Quest website? No?
No, it's a movie or something. I'll go back and listen to the podcast and jerk off. Remember it.
There you go.
Yeah, there I go.
It should take 2 seconds. No big deal.
2 seconds? Don't give me too much credit, pal.
Whatever helps you think.
Yeah. Concentration. Oh.
All right. Well, should we go on to the next?
Love talk. Let's do love talk.
Let's do a love talk. Yeah.
Okay, let's do a love talk. But okay, so going into the love talk here, I actually want to say thank you to somebody, and his name is actually Latchlan Moffat Gray. And there's a funny story here for anybody who's a fan of Doctor Who. Holly, have you ever watched Doctor Who?
I love Doctor Who.
Have you watched any of the old ones?
Like the really old?
Well, let's say the really old, like the one before this new one.
The 1970s one?
Yeah, like even the 80s, even the early 90s, was it? Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Well, anyways, Latchlan, I'm pronouncing his name fucking terribly. I apologize for that.
He's from Australia. He's our Australian friend.
Yes, absolutely. He actually went to a convention and met Sylvester McCoy, one of the doctors, and he was one of the creepier doctors back in the day. And I thought he was very, very cool. And so he wrote to me. He's like, "Hey, do you want me to go? I'm going to go meet him. Get him to sign some stuff. Do you want me to get him to sign something for you?" And I'm like, "Oh, definitely," because I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I love Doctor Who. And so
wait, Doctor Who?
Doctor is not Doctor Pooh. Okay.
No, Doctor Who. Doctor Who?
Oh yeah.
Listen to this guy.
I know. Listen,
Yeah.
he's on fire, that gamester. Somebody get the fucking water. Shit. So he goes up to Sylvester McCoy and he says, "Oh, can you?" This is true. This is actually true. He goes, "Can you also sign this for my friend in Canada, my friend John?" And he's like, "Oh, why? Who's he?" He goes, "Oh, he's actually another doctor." And he turns to him. He's like, "A doctor of what?" He goes, "He's Dr. Love."
Oh my god!
Really?
Yeah, seriously, it's true. How could I make that up? That would be crazy. And I thought that story was hilarious. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's amazing. Sylvester McCoy knows about Dr. Love.
So did he sign it to Dr. Love? That'd be hilarious.
I think he just signed it to Johnny or something like that.
He is creepy.
And he drew a big boner on it though too. I
Nice.
think he did something like that. So he knew he was talking.
He is creepy. He reminds me of Gene Wilder.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, he's like that totally. And they were the ones that killed the original Doctor Who. After that, Doctor Who lost its steam in England, and there's a lot of things about that. I think there's a Dalek episode that they had, and they went way over budget for that, and that almost got the series canceled as well. There's a lot of reasons why it got canceled, but a lot of turmoil in that last season with Sylvester McCoy. I liked him. He was creepy. Him and Ace. I thought he was he must be he was old then. I don't know how old he is now. He must be like 180 or something.
Probably have to blow the dust off of him.
Yeah. My favorite doctor of all time was definitely Tom Baker, though. He's the one I grew up with. He was creepy, surreal, and weird. I just downloaded 65 gigs of his old episodes. I was watching them last night. It was fucking fantastic. Talk about memories. It was pretty wild stuff. But John, I think I'm ready for the question.
Okay. Okay, and also, guys, I want to add, this would be kind of cool for those of you who've asked questions to Dr. Love over here, and you've actually used his advice. I'd like to hear feedback as far as how it worked out for you. Right, Johnny?
Tell us how the lube treated you. You know what I mean?
What are we reading here, Johnny? What are we going? Where are we at?
Why do you write? Okay, the Twee player. I don't know. This is not very interesting, but I'm going to do it anyways. It's a long one for John to read too. So
What page are we at?
it's the last page. It's one up from the bottom.
And now it's that time of the podcast for Love Talk with Dr. Love, Johnny Millennium. Dr. Love, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, and boy, have I missed your deep, sexy voice.
Me too.
As I've missed you as well.
Okay, well, hey, hold on a second. Just so you know, you read the questions or anything more going on with me and you, just so you know that, right? Okay? I don't want anything awkward with us. I don't want
What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. I just want to keep it like, platonic and happy. No pun intended. Just keep it good and gay, but not that kind of gay. You know, happy kind of gay. And just read the question, Gamester81.
You stop it, you silly goose. All right. Questions from Twee Player. Hey, Johnny, I need your help. I recently went to a skate park and was thrashing it up, and all of a sudden, I see two sexy girls go right by me on roller skates. At the time, I couldn't think of a way to spark up conversation with them, so I just tried to ignore them. Regretting my decision, I am now determined to get them both, as I am soon going back to the park with a friend of mine, and I'd like some advice on how to draw them right in. Johnny, to you.
Wow, that's quite something. There's like multiple questions in here, and there's a lot going on in here, and you kind of have to read through all of this. First of all, he's like thrashing it out at the skate park, you know, doing a little hang loose stuff going on, which I absolutely love. And then he sees two girls out of the 1970s on roller skates or something. You know, that should first of all set you off right away. There's something going on there. If they're on roller skates, like it's the year 2011. You know, like, I don't know what's going on with these girls, but first of all, be very wary of that. But going into the girls' defense here, it's so funny. He's like, he wanted to talk to them, but he kind of let them go. You know, maybe there just wasn't anything to talk about. Maybe it would have been too awkward. Maybe your first initial thought was right. Just to kind of maybe let that one go. Maybe you know, it's better to sometimes let something go than say, hey, how are you girls doing? I'm just thrashing it up in the skate park today. Love your roller skates. I love the 70s. And then they turn to you and just go, fuck you, loser. And then they skate off into the 1970s once again. You know? That's the kind of awkward thing is sometimes you see somebody who's attractive, but you have to remember one thing is that you don't know that person. And you should let things happen naturally. Don't force it. And if you're really intent, if you happen to see them again, that's cool. Say, oh, hey, yeah, I've seen you around here. Well, actually, that's also about, I've seen you around here every day. I'm here too. I've been watching you. Don't say that. So, just start something casual. Start, something up, like, if you can, but don't try to come off as too, like, I see. Holly, what do you think? Like, a girl's perspective here, shouldn't it just be natural with anybody? You know what I mean?
It should. And I warn you, when girls run in packs, you're in trouble. Because even if one of the girls likes you, the other one is going to tell her,
Yeah. Hey, Holly, did you say when girls are wearing pads?
No, when they run in packs.
Oh.
I'm sorry. This is why we only get him to read the questions.
Listen to this guy.
I heard what you said. I'm just fucking with you.
Okay.
This guy's unbelievable. I tell you, we need the water for this guy to hose him down. He's just so on fire all the time. But no, it's a really good point, and just let it happen naturally. If you happen to see them again, start setting it up. It's kind of like, I want to draw them in. I'd like some advice on how to draw them in. Right.
Here's my advice. Go to dog parks.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. You were going to say that.
He's had really good luck at dog parks.
I've had a really good luck.
But whatever you do, don't bring a guy called Greg or Gary with you to a cat park. That will just set the pussies off on fire. I tell you, they'll all be dead. Okay? So watch out for that. Watch out for Gamester's brother, man.
Can I tell a true story about skate parks? Skate parks here. Okay,
Sure.
so, we're talking about love talk. We're getting real serious. It needs to be natural. It just needs to happen. You know what I mean? Like, don't force it. That's all good and fun. Here's what Jason used to do as a little boy. Hey, I was 12, 13, 14. This is what I used to do. I would actually go to a place called Skate Land, or Skate World, rather. Now, John, you've been in Seattle. They have skate worlds up there?
We had a place called Skate King,
Okay.
which is probably the same thing.
Probably the same thing. Big skate
Yeah,
park.
we got Skate Universe up here, which is vastly better. I'm just kidding.
Well, they're probably a hell of a lot nicer up there. It's Canadian. So
But we had guns out there. At our skate parks, we had guns. We have guns at our skate parks. So
yeah,
if
we
you ride your-
we'd just circle around that bitch with the gun in the air, like looking at people, just
Fire in the
mean
air.
mugging. Like, who the fuck wants this? Bam, bam.
Shooting off other people's wheels with an AK-47.
Like skate with 3 wheels now, biatch, and that is how the rollerblade was born.
So you
Oh.
go to Skate Land.
Okay, anyway,
Jason.
I go to Skate World. Here's what I do. I go to
History lesson
Yeah,
from
here-
the
I go-
Alton Games.
Yeah, you hear it here first. You get everything here. So I go to Skate World, and I loved being there because it had all the things I loved. One, I really was into skating at the time. I really liked it. So skating, but more importantly, it had arcade games, tons of them, classic ones. It had an amazing concession stand with pretzels and cheese, fucking cotton candy, popcorn, red ropes, and ices. There were lots of girls there for all of us to look at, which was great. So here's what Jason used to do. I used to go there with my buddies. We'd skate around, hang out, whatever, play games. And we were there every weekend. And there were chicks there that were there every weekend as well. The regulars, right? Well, I would just go up to the concession stand. I would buy 2 ices. One for me and one for a girl that I liked or that I thought was
Smooth dog
attractive.
over here, man.
How old were you, Jason? How old was this? This is like 2 years ago, you're saying?
This is, a couple months ago. I was still doing this shit.
Okay, sorry.
No, but this is a true story. So and of course it was great because I would just skate around with it. You skate and then you go sit at the tables, right? You skate and go sit at the tables and play with your friends. Just skate and whatever. So I would just skate by and just drop it off, make eye contact, and I would leave.
Oh my god, were they not terrified?
Not at all. Dude, this was
Like, how
the
did they know-
90s.
okay,
This
how
was the
did they know you
90s.
didn't
I
stick-
didn't
how-
lace it with something.
How did they know you didn't stick your grass first? Okay, how did they know that? Like, oh, a brown popsicle.
Again.
How beautiful.
Again, this was the 90s, and I don't even know that roofies were even around.
What was the 90s a happier time? Or what's going on with that?
Well, when you're younger.
Yeah.
I was.
So how did it work out for you?
Yeah, it worked good. Sometimes no response, just like, oh, whatever. This is.
Sometimes you gotta, the happy ending.
I will say, the majority of the time it was just kind of like, oh, nice gesture. This weirdo dropped me off a drink. But I actually have had several instances at the time there that it actually worked out good, and I became good. I became good friends with some of them.
It had a happy ending.
So that's your advice is buy your date?
No,
Yeah, no shit.
maybe buy him a treat or something, and just
Buy
show
them a treat?
yeah,
I
show a
love
good
it.
gesture. I'm
Come
not
here into the car, little girl. I have candy.
totally not what I'm saying. Totally not what I'm saying.
Yeah, why don't you go up to him and say how much he costs?
Yeah.
You guys are
Holy shit.
fucked. You know what? I want to just give a shout out to all the people out there that know what I'm talking about. You real guys out there. Buy him a fucking icy. Buy him an icy and a snow cone.
Dog parks.
He also has a creepy ass van with no windows and
All right, so I rolled up in an Astro van. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Fucking come on in, kids.
Yeah, come on in, have a
Fucking-
popsicle.
You know me, I had a
Good
fucking
ice cream man.
laptop there with the Ice Cream Man theme song going. Come on in.
Come on, have a brown popsicle, children.
You guys know about Jason's baby, right?
Jason's baby.
He's expecting.
When?
what?
Me and Thunder Thighs? You guys
Yeah.
didn't know? Oh, Holly, please fill him in.
Okay. Chung Lee has a pregnancy figure. And I didn't know until the other night during our live podcast that Mr. Heine was the dad.
Wow, Jason. Okay, what? Yeah.
Get that! Get that!
What in God's name are you crazy motherfuckers talking about?
You kidding me? That's my girl.
She likes ices, apparently.
Yeah, brown ones, it would seem.
I buy her whatever she wants. Those thighs, if they come anywhere around me, yeah.
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 I guess the story is somebody had a picture of her with, it looked like she was pregnant or expecting.
There's actually a Chun-Li statue where she's pregnant.
And I was like, oh, great, I'm becoming a dad.
It actually says Chun-Li pregnancy statue. And we were joking about it that somewhere in playing Street Fighter, somebody really forgot to listen to the story of Chun-Li's pregnant. So
It's fucking hilarious.
So are you going to hyphenate the name and be like Chung Haini Lee?
Well, we haven't really decided yet, but you know, I basically do whatever she wants because she can kick my ass. She can kick my ass.
Chung Haini.
Yes, that shit.
Fucking man, oh man. So, you know what? The best advice always is just to act natural. You see them again, just start up a normal conversation. It's really hard to meet people. I call it like cold calling. Just walking up to them, hey, how are you doing? It's very tough.
Yeah, you gotta be clever. You gotta be clever.
You gotta be clever. You gotta give them brown popsicles, invite them in your band. The normal, easy stuff. Get them pregnant like Chun-Li. The normal, everyday fucking thing that happens in your life. Type of thing. But anyways, just act natural. And you know what? If you see them again, and you know what, you start a normal conversation. Just something natural happens. It's no problem. It goes from there. But girls are not something to be kind of lured in. It doesn't kind of work that way. It really doesn't. It's much more natural than that. As I say, get the Astro Band first.
Come on in.
Come on in. There's a party in here. I got a Dreamcast.
Got ice cream in the cooler.
Got a Dreamcast in the back on an old TV. And a nice couch.
Funny.
It's very hot outside, isn't it? Anyways, that is what.
That's your advice? Is that Dr. Love?
My advice is to get stuffed. That's what my advice is. No, my advice is just act natural and keep it clean, and don't let Greg babysit your cat.
Buy him an icy.
Oh, that crazy! I can't wait to see Greg again. I'm gonna love it.
Did you ever buy an icy for anyone who was diabetic?
Ooh,
we were like 12. I don't even know what bitches don't know about my diabetes. I didn't even know what it was back then.
Yeah, as kids, you don't know what diabetes is. Yeah, it's funny.
No.
Yeah.
My God, I swear to you, like Jason grew up in a different time than me or something. I knew it was never like that. He's like in his life. In Jason's life, there was rainbows and puppies.
I know.
Beautiful things, and it was like the Brady Bunch. You know what I mean? Like everything had a rhythm and a rhyme to it. I swear, where I grew up, it was all like punks and skater assholes, and everybody was a shithead to each other. It was a very, very hard time, like for sure. Like,
well, that's what makes this a real great and diverse podcast, I guess.
Yeah, pretty
I
well.
lived on a rainbow, and
I lived in Shitsville.
you lived in a fucking shithole.
I did. Quite honestly. But the only entertainment for me as a kid was playing Street Fighter. I had 75 cents in my pocket. It was a hard life back there. A hard life, I tell you.
When I was young, I had to walk uphill, you see.
Fucking in the barefoot snow, goddammit, see?
Back in the olden days, the only way I could play Street Fighter was get my friends to fight each other. And I'd bet on it.
It was actually literally street fighting.
Back when you didn't know any of the moves.
Yeah, I know, That's weird time.
And no thrilling, because if you threw someone Street Fighter 2, God forbid.
Fucking get fingers chopped off.
Yeah, you get your fingers chopped off and you get raped. That's how it happened. That's how it happened to a guy. That's how it happened.
You just threw me, Billy, undo his pants.
Undo his pants. We're raping a sucker.
That's tough. That's tough right there. I'm not saying it's all rainbow and bunnies, but it was
rainbows and bunny. I never mentioned the bunnies.
Well, John mentioned bunny ranch, which I've been to, but that's okay.
Oh, that's it, John. I remembered. Well, it was something to all the bunny, the show about the fucking whorehouse.
Oh, the bunny ranch. Yeah,
yeah. It's like
it's called the bunny ranch.
I think it's called the. I think so.
Writing it down. Thank you, sir. That's what it was about. Thank you. It wasn't a movie. It was that show. Awesome. Gonna be an exciting night tonight. Oh, fuck.
For about 5 seconds.
I guess.
Well, again, you're giving me way too much credit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Way too much. It's more like, yeah. Oh, okay. Done. Thank you. Kind of like that. My girlfriend can come in here and attest to it. I swear to God.
It's like zip up, us done before you even unzip it.
Zip, where is it? Oh, it happened? Okay. I'm like,
TMI.
oh, it's over. Good. I can stop the crying now.
All right.
Says.
TMI.
So I guess moving on to gaming piece.
Gaming piece. Yeah.
One more segment, gaming piece.
Yeah, hit it.
Welcome to another episode of Gaming Piece Theater with Gamester81. Gamester, what piece of gaming history are you going to share with us today?
This is from the forums, and guys, continue to post questions because it's kind of slowing down. I'm getting a little bit disappointed, you guys, honestly. So please continue to do so. So this question is from a guy named GHI102. So I don't know how you pronounce it, G102, but he wants to know more about the video game crash of '83. I know we've kind of talked about it here and there in the podcast previous episodes. Are you guys aware of the crash of '83 video game crash?
Oh,
it was a huge moment for
course.
gaming.
Huge.
Nope. What happened? I don't have a clue about it. I'm just kidding. I know all about it for sure.
Well, there's actually a couple of reasons of why it happened. First of all, is there was just a plethora of systems out in the market in '82. You had, let's name a few, Atari 2600. You had the Atari 5200, Valley Astrocade, ColecoVision, ColecoGemini, the Arcadia, Fairchild 2, Magnavox Odyssey 2, the Intellivision, Vectrix, Television 2, the Radio Shack had the Tandyvision. I mean, the list goes on of these systems that were out in '82. So there was just right now we have the three main ones, right? But can you imagine, times that by like 4 or 5. I mean, there's a ton of systems. So that was a huge issue. Next issue was Atari was a big part of it. The Atari 2600 had been on the market for 6 years up to this point, 5 years. And they really didn't have any. They paid a lot of money to import these really well-known titles like Pac-Man. I mean, we all love Pac-Man, but the Pac-Man for the Atari 2600 is terrible. And people bought this game and they were pissed because it played nothing like the arcade. We're infamous the ET for the Atari 2600. They paid millions of dollars for the license to use ET, and that game flopped. So they really pissed a lot of gamers off. Creating these really just disastrous games, really shitty games like shovelware, kind of like you see for the Wii, but not to that extent. Another reason why the crash happened was because of personal computers. You had the Atari 400, the Atari 800, the Commodore 64 during this time, and in the late 70s, computers were very expensive. We're talking like $1,000, which in today's is like $3,400. But by the time the 80s rolled around, the prices significantly dropped to around like $300 range, and you could plug most of them into TVs so they could play games. So, whoa, what's that? Hold on. Okay, sorry. Let's see what else. I lost my train of thought. Also, they lost publishing control. Atari lost control. We're all familiar with Activision, right? One of the biggest publishers today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They were actually the first third-party publisher. They actually, a lot of what Atari did was a stupid on Atari's end, is they wouldn't give the creators or developers any rights to royalties or any credits at the end of the games. So they were pissed. So they actually defected, and they created Activision. And there's a huge lawsuit. Atari sued Activision, saying you can't create games for our system. We have exclusive rights, and they lost. So that opened the floodgates for a whole bunch of third-party companies to create games for these systems, including, did you guys know that Quaker Oats made a game for the Atari 2600?
No.
I heard about it.
Yeah. Did you know Purina made a game for the Atari 2600?
Yeah, my father worked at Purina. Yep.
So the point is, a ton of really like odd third-party companies that like they didn't have no reason to be in the industry wanted to try to make money on this, and because they were making so shitty games, basically the industry crashed in '83. What was the aftermath of it? A lot of the companies, Mattel pulled out, and Television closed doors. ColecoVision went out of business, or Coleco went out of business. Atari survived barely. Activision survived through the computer market, and obviously they're doing very well today.
And they continue to kill video games even now.
Yes, games like Guitar Hero and Tony Hawk, but that's just another
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, yeah, possibly, yeah. So what Nintendo, and also what happened with why this is significant in the history of gaming is because up to this point, gaming was really predominantly in North America, and it kind of shifted to Japan because between like 83 and 84, a couple of years, there really weren't many games on the market, and the Famicom came out in Japan in 83 and did very well. and Nintendo wanted to bring it to the States, and they wanted to not necessarily mark. They were kind of hesitant because there was a bad taste for gaming. So instead of calling it a video game system, they called it an entertainment system, hence the Nintendo Entertainment System. And they packaged it with like Rob the Robot and a whole bunch of kind of gimmicky items to like push it saying, hey, we're not a video game system. We're like, you know, a thing that you plug into the TV and kind of play around with. You know?
It's an entertainment thing. They packed a
It's
light
an
gun in it,
entertainment
and yeah.
Yeah, light gun and power pad. So long story short, it came back to the market, brought back in, yes, very well. Basically by you know the late 80s, it was a $5 billion, 85. A couple years later, it was a $5 billion industry. So that is the crash of 83. You know, a whole bunch of companies like Odyssey was going to come out with the Odyssey 3. You know, Atari was going to release the 7800 much earlier, and they ended up waiting to release it 7800 until much later, too late actually. So I think Atari really dropped the ball on this one. But you know, Nintendo may, you know, if it never happened, Nintendo may not have been around. Who knows? You know, so kind of interesting history of gaming for sure. All right, well, Holly, it was awesome having you on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It was great.
Thank you. Hadouken! Yeah, Holly, I don't know the actual story. How did that come into being in the show where Tim used that?
He asked me if I knew what the sound effect was for Street Fighter, and I had never actually like read it. I just kind of heard it, and so I repeated it back as I knew it, and now it's become a thing.
It is internet famous now for you. I love it.
I'm going to need to print T-shirts or something.
Oh, absolutely. I'll buy one for sure, without a doubt. No, I'm serious. Totally. Who can? Every time I'm telling you, Holly, it's one of those funny things. I could be in the most terrible mood ever, but as soon as all I have to say is Hadouken, I feel absolutely happy again.
Oh, I'm so glad.
It's very, very entertaining. I love it.
It warms my heart that I can cheer you up with my stupidity.
Hadouken.
I also
Hadouken.
Hadouken.
And I have a serious question for you, Holly. I need to know this because you have a YouTube channel, Dog in My Lens. Where did you get the name Dog in My Lens?
Well, you guys don't get to see it, but every time I make a video, one of two things happens. My dog comes over and licks my face, or my phone rings, which is why I have a lot of edits. And I'm not the best with video editing, so it just kind of became like, it was retarded how much she would come over and be in the camera. And everyone says I should have created the name Dog Ate My DS. Well, I should have, but I couldn't come up with anything else. So it was Dog in My Lens.
It's catchy. I like it. It's unique.
Yeah, I always wondered what it meant. I was like, what's that mean?
No, you'll hear sometimes on the podcast. I have an 11-year-old black lab, and
I hear him. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she likes to know what I'm doing, and she thinks she's a lap dog, and yeah, every once in a while.
Dogs rule. Yeah. I just found out. Go ahead.
I might make like a blooper reel of all the time she comes in my videos or knocks shit over or something. It's actually quite funny.
You got to do it. Blooper videos are all. I love seeing behind the scenes of what people actually do and what's really going on. That's much more entertaining than the real stuff at times. It can be really, really a lot of fun.
Maybe I'll do that.
On a more serious note, I found out yesterday my dog had cancer.
Oh, Jesus.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, but yeah, no, I'm serious. So it was very emotional last night. My wife is like her best friend, right? So we took her to the vet. She's lost 14 pounds.
Oh,
yeah. So
oh my God.
We took her in, and doc basically the vet said she got days to live unless she wanted to do surgery, and so we did surgery, which was not cheap. But good thing is there's a happy ending to it all. Is she just recovered? She came out of surgery today.
Jeez.
And they were worried that they may have had to put her down if it spread, but it looked like it was clean, and so they took it out, and she's home recovering. So,
hey, John, if you don't mind me asking, how much did that cost to have that?
$1,100.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
But I tell my wife though, like, you can't put a price on it because she's a family member, So
totally.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't mean to be a downer to the podcast at the end here, but it was kind of. I love dogs and just talking about.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it had a good ending to it, which is good.
So next podcast is episode 50.
Yeah, the big 5-0. We're over the hill, guys. We're over the hill.
And I've got a very exciting announcement on our 50th episode too that I'm going to hold off and share live.
Oh,
so
my.
Wow.
Some exclusive
John.
news.
Come on. I'm a woman. You can't tease me.
I think we
like
kind of
that.
know what it is.
I'm kind of excited now.
No, so yes, I'm excited about this news too, guys. So it's pretty exciting. I'm really happy to really happy to announce it.
Fuck. Okay, well,
Nice.
I won't bug you about it. You can save it.
Yeah,
for
we'll
next
save
time.
it. That's great.
Yeah.
I need to come up with some exciting news now. I'm going to make something up. Something amazing.
Okay, Johnny, it was great having you back.
It's
Never
great
the same
to
without
be
you.
back, and I look forward to your exciting announcements. I think we all know what it's going to be. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, you know.
I actually have no idea, so
No, neither do I. I'm just joking.
No, I haven't told anyone really. It's
yeah, I have no
nothing.
idea.
I'm pretty sure they're getting married since that's legal here.
I'm actually Gary's coming over and take care of my dog for a couple weeks.
Oh my god!
Except for John's gonna actually just stay there.
How about you know what? I think we should have Gary come over and look after. He should start editing the podcast and doing that. Jason, I think you need a break. I think we can rely on Gary to get it done and everything will be
The
fine.
podcast dies.
Yeah, or it dies. You know, there's no like 5 episodes that are not recorded and nothing's going on. He's like, oh, I'm supposed to do a podcast.
We're on some beach drinking Coronas. People PMing us. Where's the podcast? I don't know.
Gary's in charge. It's fine.
Just sit him in. Just sit him in front of your camera, John, and have him just tell the story and post it on YouTube.
Yeah,
I love it.
Dude,
I
we were
bet
gonna
it
actually
goes
get him
viral.
on. We were gonna get him on the podcast last week, but he was busy. But we gotta get him on. He's a good guy. He knows all about games too, my brother. So.
Oh, we gotta get. I gotta talk to him about this fucking cat thing. Gotta get good old Gary on. Oh, I can't wait to talk to him about this cat thing. This is. I want to hear from him. I want to hear every minute detail.
Yeah, it's very sensitive for him because it was hard for him. You know, he dropped the
That's
ball.
okay. It's a long time ago. We can talk about it.
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was like he was like in middle school or shit. It's been a long time.
Oh,
Yeah, the cat didn't die. It's good. The cat didn't die.
It almost died. It didn't.
Almost
Yeah.
died. It's like took all 8 lives basically. You know how cats have 9 lives. Like they're no 9 lives left.
Holy shit! I fuck.
man.
Man. Oh,
Yeah.
Did he go over there with some cat food afterwards to like apologize?
I don't know. How do you apologize for
Yeah,
that?
how do you? I would not go anywhere around that house.
No,
Why not? Like,
because the cat will take revenge.
Try to right the wrong that you've done. Give him like a year's worth of cat food. That's fucking awesome. That fucking killed me. I think we can. I'm done for the night. I'm happy. Isn't that we need a cat sound.
Robocat.
It's RoboCat.
Oh, that sounds like a duck. Sounds like dynamite ducks.
Oh God, don't bring it up. All right, let's
He's
bounce out of
exposed.
here. I can't take it anymore.
I can't
Yeah.
say it.